the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get away with this. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true.
Sometimes I cry.
Oh! Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 940, doing it live. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And a lot has happened.
We're back.
But no matter how much happened, I wasn't coming back until now.
Yeah, we got shut down with Facebook.
Yeah. We were taken offline by this sophisticated cyber attack, and we just now recovered from it.
Thank goodness. You were up all night with like wires, and you had a charcuterie board to keep you nourished.
Charcuterie.
Yeah.
Everyone give the stream a like right now. And on top of that, here's a quick plug for a sponsor of ours that we haven't really had the chance to promote very much yet. It's ExpressVPN. They are offering viewers of the Drunken Peasants 3 free months with an annual subscription. It helps the show, and you get something you'll be able to use, whether that's security related or you just like to be able to watch the UK or Canadian version of Netflix. There it is. ExpressVPN. Click on the description. Also, if you're a patron, you've got until the next episode to get your pledges in. And then on the 15th, I will be sending all of the patrons $25 and above their free DP on demand key to get in. Yeah.
I heard if you watch Squid Game on the VPN saying you're from South Korea, that someone will show up at your doorstep and put you in the Squid Game. I don't know where I heard that from.
I hate you for reminding me what Squid Game is.
I don't even know what it is. I just know the kids talk about it.
Yeah, that's
I think
why
it's like Fortnite.
It's like Fork Knife.
It's like Fortnite and Among Us and Squid Game.
It's like Fork Knife, but they don't use forks and knives in Korea, so...
No, they're not.
I mean, they mainly would eat... Most people in Asia eat with sticks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kebabs are really good ways to eat with sticks. Corn dogs, popsicles.
Kebabs.
I like corn dogs, popsicles, and kebabs. Those are great stick foods.
Stick foods.
Sticky rice is good.
Stick foods.
Yeah.
That's like a whole new category of foods.
Yeah. Stick foods.
You're a fan of the stick foods.
Yeah, stick foods, corn dogs, shish kebabs, popsicles.
What about fish sticks?
Anything you eat with chopsticks becomes a stick food.
What about foods in stick form?
I think fish sticks should count.
Because it's food in stick form.
It's technically a stick food, right?
Technically. There's the food where the food itself is made into the stick, and then there is the food that is consumed with a stick, ideally. Like, could you imagine eating sushi with a fork?
Yeah, I just did. It's
you?
Interesting, yeah.
I thought I knew you. All right, DP Action News, here we go.
I just imagined it. I didn't actually do it. I'm not crazy.
Oh, okay.
He called me sir and got me so human angry.
People are discriminating against wolves. Wow. They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
And you better well learn to love it.
Somebody sent me these Joe Biden clips where it's Joe Biden not making sense, and I just wanted to go over this and analyze it.
We'll make sense of Joe Biden not making sense. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, let's see. He got that shit-eating grin on his face when he took his mask off.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, thanks for the passport into town. I tell you, every time I come to the greater Chicago area, there's somebody I want to steal and bring back to Washington, Gov.
Washington Gov? Is
Bring
he
back
turning
the Washington
British?
Governor. I heard that the Illuminati started instituting masks because the top elites, they're having trouble in their old age facially forming their reptilian skin where their mouth meets. So they have to wear the masks for everyday person to person until they can focus during a speech.
We'll go over this one more time just to see.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor.
Thanks for the passport into town. I tell you, every time I come to the greater Chicago area, there's somebody I want to steal and bring back to Washington, Gov. I've done it a couple times, you know.
Washington.
So
Gov.
what he's saying is every time he comes to Chicago, he meets somebody working
Now,
in Chicago.
Here's the thing. The mayor of Chicago is a woman.
Did he call him
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Is she a handsome woman?
She's an older lady.
So that's one check, is that he didn't realize he was talking to a man. Maybe we're on the wrong side of history and she's transitioning.
And then
he
he's
knows.
like, hey, Gov. Like he's a chimney sweep from the 1800s.
What he's saying is every time he goes to Chicago, he meets somebody in Chicago politics that he wants to take back to the Washington government system that he works
Gov.
in. He wants to take them back to work
A
for him.
passport into town. He wanted to thank Mr. Mayor.
I mean, what he said, the Mr. Mayor part was an obvious slip up, but everything else makes sense, right?
I don't know. Here's a little more.
And the Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon.
Dan Harmon from Community.
He said the Ohio, Pennsylvania. The Ohio, Pennsylvania.
And the Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon.
I'm going to look up Don Harmon, see who Don Harmon is.
The Ohio, Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon is what he said.
I'm looking up. So Don Harmon's the president of Illinois Senate. He looks like Ron Howard a little bit. I don't know. Maybe
so
not.
what does Ohio and Pennsylvania have to do with it? And he said it like it was the same thing, like Ohio, Pennsylvania, the Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And the Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. The Illinois president of the Don Harmon.
Okay, and this is all from the same speech here. Here's another one.
You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was on the television.
He was in the television.
He's in the television now?
On the telephone with a person at an emergency hospital ward.
Okay, so first he said he was in the television, then he said he was on the television, and then he said he was on the telephone.
Well, that's rough.
You know, if I can digress for just a second, last night I was on the television. I was on the telephone.
Damn.
With a person at an emergency hospital ward.
Do you think he yells at the television and thinks it's talking back to him?
Maybe. No, he probably just watches like The Price is Right and Murder, She Wrote
and eats
reruns.
Soup?
Yes.
He eats soup and watches reruns?
He doesn't have to because he's rich and powerful, but he probably goes to the local senior center and watches Price is Right in the common room with all the common folk.
And says very like jovial slurs while he's there?
Yes.
He's got jovial slurs? I don't know.
Jovial slurs.
They're very jovial in his slurring.
I don't see him as jovial in anything he says.
I think when he's racist,
when he gets ice cream, maybe.
Remember how jovial he was when he was talking about Corn Pop and beating him with a chain?
Well, Corn Pop knew better, and that's why.
And how jovial he was when he was talking about the kids?
It wasn't a chain, it was like a razor blade.
It was, yeah, it was
like and he would make it rusty.
Oh, God.
He would build up the rust on the razor blade.
He was jovial when he talked about those kids rubbing his damn leg hairs at the pool.
Jovial Biden.
He's always jovial when he's kissing on the neck of some 12-year-old. See, there are jovial moments. I think it's when he's being sinister. Every other moment, he sucks. When he's being sinister, he's like, "Hey, I'm in my zone." His Biden zone, the Hunter Biden zone,
the Ohio, Pennsylvania.
The Ohio, Pennsylvania. He's literally naming off the places he's got children's bodies buried.
Oh my God.
Maybe. Probably not, right? I hope not.
It's cryptic programming that he's subtly putting out there to prepare us.
I was making an assumption. I don't know if that's true.
Oh no, everything you say is not an assumption. It's 100% true.
That's
All
true.
of it.
That's true. Now that I have
allegedly.
Now that I have Ben's approval, I will start telling the truth more often.
Oh. Everyone throw the stream a like if you could. We don't normally stream on Friday.
Throw this stream a lick.
We'll be back to our usual schedule starting starting Saturday.
Tomorrow, yeah. We usually do Saturdays, and we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
I watched the Pharma Bro movie about Martin Shkreli this week.
Yeah.
After watching the movie, I now realize why I like him so much. Everybody else should watch it too.
There's going to be a new feature on DP On Demand that'll be released before the end of the month for everyone who either signs up for DP On Demand or becomes a $25 or more patron before the 15th of this month. There's going to be a review with me and Jeff Holiday and Adam, and we're going to review one of Egghead's dad's awful movies.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it should be good. Some people like the torture of the awful movie.
Not me.
I know.
I like to go to awful movies on my own. I went and saw Lamb last night.
I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what it is.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
So one of the main stories that happened this last week was Twitch was leaked. And it was all of their data. I mean, even like the technical data and their source code and the analytics and financials of, the largest streamers on there, including Hassan Piker. So I thought we'd look at Hassan Piker's reaction to the leak. And by the way, a lot of people call him out because he's making multi-millions a year. I mean, as far as we know, it might even be more. This is just what the Twitch stuff that's been leaked. Yeah, I know he talks about socialism, but people support him because they find him entertaining. I personally don't find him entertaining, but a lot of people do. And if they're going to support him and be pro-socialism while making him a multimillionaire, that's on them, honestly.
Socialism's always been a cool grift.
Not for everybody, but for some people.
It worked for some people, right?
Yeah.
So here's what happened. I'm just going to briefly go over the controversy, okay? Let's just Google Twitch real quick, okay? Number 13 asked number 6 for reimbursement.
I really got to stop supporting him.
I mean, that's right. Ludwig.
His streams, they don't appeal to me. A lot of the times it's like, obviously we eat here too, but we still talk while we eat. He'll just like sit there and just shovel food in his mouth and not say anything for like 5 minutes at a time. And that's a Hassan Piker stream.
I'm really jealous of it, actually. I want to start doing that sort of content.
He is number 6, motherfucker.
I'm just going to watch other people's stuff and eat the entire time.
Where's my reimbursement? Scam wig number 6? I didn't even crack the top 10, Dad. What's up, Dad? That's right. Okay, all jokes aside. Ladies and gentlemen, Twitch is hacked, and its source code is out in the fucking wild. I don't even know how the website is up right now. I don't know how the fuck it's working, but this morning I woke up to a 125 gigabyte data leak. I don't even know how fucking protected my information is on Twitch. I don't know anything. Okay? But according to a report by VGC, an anonymous hacker posted 125 gigs of torrent links containing all of Twitch, literally, including its source.
So the leak alleges that he makes almost $250,000 a month.
He makes over $200,000 at least in September.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money.
A lot of money. So just, multiply that by 12.
That's a lot of money for a person of communism.
Source code and commit history
Socialism.
going back to the start. The leak also contains streamers' income since 2019 and information that suggests that Amazon-owned streaming platform Steam rival Vapor may really exist. Thank you to Arachnophobia.
And that's just from the Twitch subs and ads and stuff. That's not from outside revenue,
Outside of Twitch.
Streamlabs and stuff.
Yeah. Or his YouTube revenue. He has he gets YouTube revenue too.
Or the CIA paycheck that he gets for being an undercover
we're
operative.
Fucking beating Ludwig's ass. All right, boys, that's what's going on.
In your world, Billy, half the population is the CIA. Or whatever. The CIA isn't even an exclusive thing anymore.
And also Miskiff's ass.
Nope. Shane Dawson's still in it. He's making a comeback.
Okay.
Let me just start by saying that there was a fucking data breach. It's probably a breach of contract by Twitch too. I don't know how the fuck this works. Now, of course, for most of the content creators that you are seeing with how much their earnings are, which immediately was made into this wonderful little list so you can take a look at it.
Number 11 is unknown. That's Doc Disrespect, right?
Oh, it might be. It might be.
Yeah,
Where's Amaranth on here?
She's more recent. Actually, the girls aren't that high up. What's her name? Pokemon?
Osmongold is on there, right under Hassan.
Everybody's saying these booby streamers are big money, but
they are
they're
for
not
what
making
for what they do.
I mean, these guys play video games and talk. This is big money for what any of these people do. The booby streamers are not running the charts like people thought they were. That's one of the big eye-opening situations here. All these grumpy little boys hey, they wear boobies or else I could do it. No, all these other guys are doing it more than they are, and they have no boobs. Hassan actually has some nice pecs.
Except for this unknown person. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That might be Doc Disrespect or something. I don't know what that is. But this is nothing. For me, this is pretty much all of the revenue because all of my revenue comes from subscription and
your Twitch revenue.
This is nothing. This is nothing for Hassan.
They also have ad deals, sponsors, merchandise, and numerous other ways that they make money. So it's even more money than the way that you see over here. Significantly higher amounts of money. No, it's not because I'm a brand risk. I literally did a fucking hashtag ad last night for Far Cry. Suck my dick.
Whoa.
It's because I usually, in 98% of circumstances, say no to ad deals if I don't think it's a good fit. That's the difference.
Wow. Our king just says no to ads. Who would do that?
It'll come out later that he got some kind of ad
Contract
deal.
covers more, though, you weasel.
Whoa.
What do you mean? Oh, this is my favorite thing, where people that think I am not being transparent when I literally have my fucking subscription count up there and unironically tell you about everything.
Yeah, I mean, didn't it come out not too long ago? He bought a huge apartment, they call it an apartment that's actually a house. It just happens to be.
He bought a $3 million place in Beverly Hills, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably something you should buy when you're making millions of dollars a year. It's a great investment. Except that California's burning and everybody's going all the way to Austin, Texas.
Everything. All the fucking time. Perhaps too much. But of course, I got fucking 9-month subscribers who are literally fucking turning around and telling me they know better. It's my favorite thing. That revenue number right there is from 2019 until now. This is the total earnings. I don't know if this is the total earnings.
It's August 2019 until October 2021. So we're looking at a year and a half, right? Is that a year and a half?
Yeah.
So in a year and a half, our guys here are making multi-millions off of just their Twitch earnings?
Yes.
Not including any merchandise and stuff that would be outside the site. I don't know if Hassan has any merch. Hassan probably also gets big checks from Al-Qaeda or something.
What?
Because he was pushing that America deserved 9/11. Remember that?
Al-Qaeda doesn't dish out big checks.
That's not his brand deal?
No.
Well, why was he saying America deserved 9/11 then?
With Al-Qaeda, your payoff is in the afterlife, my friend.
Oh, so you get 72 virgins?
Okay.
Lit.
Rich get richer.
You should lead by example. If you're making $3 million, but the Chad is the bulk of the labor in this arrangement, then Chad deserves a percentage of your income. Heroes, as we unionize. Yeah, unionize, dude.
Hassan's chat's gonna unionize. That's hilarious. That's really funny.
How many tier 2s and 3s you have though? I don't fucking know. But
they want full disclosure.
I love it. The chat is like, we're gonna unionize and take a piece of your earnings.
we all know you and Cinema are in the big pharma's back pocket. Just admit it. Yes.
Ooh.
So.
Big pharma.
Vice article including comments from a former security engineer at Twitch. The Twitch hack is worse for streamers than for Twitch. The leak of the source code and some internal security files does not expose sensitive data, according to a former Twitch employee. The leaker said it's part one of the leak, but did not say what else might be coming. The leak posted on 4chan included source code, internal tools, and crucially, spreadsheets that detail how much money every streamer on the platform, including Twitch's biggest stars, make. Motherboard has begun to analyze some of the files within a breach and has spoken to a former member of Twitch's security team who believes that the stolen source code and scripts are not devastatingly sensitive. What's sensitive is the streamer revenue data and any potential personal information about streamers that could come in future parts of the leak. That part is fucking terrifying. That part is terrifying. Of course, no one gives a fuck.
That's not true, Lord of Nurgle. You need to stop spreading misinformation.
Like 4'6"
about that.
Very tall and
no
handsome
one cares. People are gonna literally. I don't know what kind of information has been collected. I don't know what I'm gonna need to fucking do to protect myself even further, especially whenever.
Is this something we could show on YouTube?
No.
So what I'm looking at here is from part of the leaks. It's a screen cap, and it's how Twitch tells their mods to moderate, and they have a user, a domination Twitch streamer in their house, and they're showing their backside, and they're wearing like a one piece, but the one piece is going up their butt crack, and their butt cheeks are exposed. And it's like a learning tool. So they have like this woman and her buttocks they're using for part of their learning tool. This came out in the leak, and it says, escalate this situation. Explanation why. Streamer is wearing a bodysuit. She then proceeds to stand up and turn around, exposing her buttocks. Twitch has a coverage-based policy for attire depending on context. So this will need to be investigated further. The correct action is to escalate. So it's like there's a lot of like telling
internal memos on how they moderate and that sort of thing.
There's
internal process leaks. Everything. Their source code is leaked. Literally everything has leaked. And they reset everyone's stream key. I've been using the same stream key for years with Twitch. And now I'm going to have to look up whatever they regenerated a new one for me. So
there's this other escalation to teaching tool. It says using violent threats against others, explicit or credible threats of violence that may result in a serious physical harm against another person.
Sure.
This includes but is not limited to bullet point, user threatening his partner on stream. Come here or I'll beat you with my baseball bat.
I mean,
so that deserves an escalation.
Yeah.
Or the next bullet point, user saying, I'm going to kill my teacher tomorrow. That deserves an escalation. And then they have a screen cap of someone in chat with the username COVID_19_Wuhan. And they're making all these threats. They're saying, you disgusting inbred little C words. I'm coming to your house to end your miserable lives.
You dry ass C word.
Yeah. Well, he didn't say C word. He said, there's a bunch of them. The same user, you are going to end up dead in a 4 feet in a ditch or creek if you don't shut the fuck up and go to bed. I don't give a fuck how rude I am. You C-words, go to bed or I will hunt you down and murder you both. I'll make it look like an accident. And this is their teaching tool to teach their mods. It's pretty psycho. This is only a couple screenshots I've seen from it, so I'm really wondering how deep this goes.
Oh, man. Yeah, when I worked for a cell phone company, one of the big ones, and there was all these crazy internal memos on how to handle certain issues internally and externally and internal processes and all this stuff. And their worst nightmare was that kind of stuff leaking. So, I mean, this is a huge corporation owned by Amazon, and they've got some weird internal processes that aren't supposed to be available to the public for them to see this kind of stuff. Yeah, when I worked for the cell phone company, if customers called too many times about dumb stuff, we would literally fire customers. Like if they were calling about dumb stuff or they were mean all the time,
they would just lose their accounts or what?
There were some people that would literally call every day for nothing, like waste our time, just because they wanted to complain about something or whatever.
Yeah,
and you know, back then people were under contracts. We would end their contract, not charge them the termination fee, and just be like goodbye, and they wouldn't be allowed to come back and get service with that company again.
That's got to be a miserable human being.
Yes, yeah, it wasn't that common, but it would happen.
I wonder if Trumpster Bob has a cell phone.
Someone like that, someone like that would call like every day. And they knew that we had to be nice to someone, even if they were a horrible person, no matter what. And they would take advantage of that and, you know, be able to bully people over the phone. People would get that kind of stuff. And someone said lonely. Mr. Mumble said lonely. These people were not lonely. They were looking to take advantage of people who were working that can't talk to them with blunt honesty about how they're behaving. They have to be polite and try to diffuse it. Now there were like old ladies that would call because they were lonely. We would get that too, for sure.
It was an awkward power trip.
Yeah. That's basically what it was.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's so funny. You could just fire them. Like people getting fired
happen.
from their contracts.
Yeah, because they would, you know, it would go up the ladder, and then someone higher up would listen to the calls and be like, "Whoa, yeah, we don't need to waste our time, you know, trying to help these people that are just, you know, they can't be helped. they need a different type of help, professional help." Not call center help.
Go get your Obama phone.
Everyone, please like the stream. Also, got to plug it again because they were so nice to sponsor us. ExpressVPN. If you use VPNs, try out ExpressVPN because every time someone signs up, it helps out DP. We get a little kickback from that. So that would be great.
Honest Red said, "So glad I got a job where I can be blunt and mean. I didn't know you were a drunken peasant."
Huh?
Fool! No, sorry. That was too blunt and mean.
Ugh. Yeah, some job. You know what? I would say Dick's Last Resort is one of the few mainstream service industry jobs where you can be blunt and mean, and it's like appreciated. That's like part of the entertainment of going to a place like that. Which, by the way, doesn't do too well these days. I think when it first came out, it was a lot more successful.
Dick's Last Resort?
Yeah, people are too sensitive now to have fun at Dick's Last Resort.
Now all the hats just say canceled on them?
There were trigger warnings. The last time I went to Dick's Last Resort, years ago when we went to Vegas, they have to give you like, "Are you okay with service with sarcasm?" It's like, did I just get a trigger warning at Dick's Last Resort?
Of course.
Whoa.
They give you a trigger warning at Dick's Cheeseburgers here in Seattle.
Trigger warning, this is good fucking cheeseburgers.
Num num.
So, okay, do we need to shoot a 90-year-old into space just because he played a space guy on TV,
yeah.
60 years ago?
We probably should, yeah.
Why?
So one man could go where no man's gone before?
Other men have already gone there, and none of them were 90 years old.
Did they not put Buzz Aldrin or somebody in there? John Glenn?
And he was like in his late 60s.
Man, I wonder how Shatner will do on this trip.
I don't know.
Think he'll poop himself?
I don't know.
We should have a duty check. Like, we should be able to bet on whether or not Shatner becomes Shitner.
You know what? He was 77. Still not 90. I mean, there's a big difference between 77 and 90.
I'm a rocket man.
Plenty of people live to be 77. Not so many live to be 90.
Well, I think we should put him in space now, and then in 10 years, when he's 100, put him in space again. Next time, Mars.
I mean, the big difference is that when John Glenn went back into space, he went up there as part of an actual space mission, a NASA mission, and Shatner's getting, first class treatment on the Jeff Bezos space flight.
This is a great way to show like how easy flight can be for somebody, right? Like
for someone that, like an elderly person.
Well, an elderly person, yeah. Like if Shatner can do it, I can do it, type of thing. And they're trying to sell this to people who want to go up, right?
But they're like, oh, we want Captain Kirk to have actually gone to outer space. Like, oh, man, there's so many people that deserve to go to space more than Captain Kirk.
Who?
People who actually are knowledgeable from a scientific standpoint.
Then they can go up through the NASA route, right?
Not really. I mean, there's not as many NASA flights as there used to be. There are people who can't really get into NASA, but they are way more qualified in different scientific disciplines than a 90-year-old actor.
Who will get more people paying attention to this, like, other than Shatner, right?
I mean, people are going to pay attention to it anyway. They don't need William Shatner. He's a washed-up celebrity.
They should put, like, Billie Eilish in there. That'll get more people to watch.
Something like that would get more attention than a 90-year-old guy who was famous in the 60s and 70s. Nowadays, I mean, he can still get some work, but it's all off of the Star Trek fame. He played a legendary character, kind of like how Mark Hamill can get work pretty much throughout his life. It won't be like top tier stuff, but he'll be able to do it, and he can fill a room at a convention center anywhere in the world. It's that kind of thing. You played a legendary character once. And now, or maybe, you know what? Maybe he'll go up there and he'll be exposed to cosmic rays and he will live forever.
Wasn't he in Boston Legal too?
Yes, he was. Oh, he was T.J. Booker, or was it J.T. Hooker? What was his name?
I don't.
He played a cop. I can't see.
T.J. Hooker.
T.J. Hooker. All right. Yeah.
I'm used to BJ hookers.
Yeah. So, he's had a few roles, and he had done a bit of acting before Star Trek too. I think he was in a few black and white episodes of The Twilight Zone back in the day. He's good.
Doesn't he promote the travel Priceline?
Not anymore.
Oh.
He lost that.
But
he did have it for a very long time, probably for like a decade.
Everybody's grandma liked Boston Legal.
See, look at the open. This is CNBC's website, and look at the first paragraph.
Science fiction will soon become reality as William Shatner is scheduled to launch on the next crewed space flight of Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. The company plans to fly Canadian actor who famously played Captain Kirk in the original Star Trek television series as one of the passengers on the company's new Shepard rocket.
So, I mean, they're not even trying to hide this is why they're doing it. I don't know if it's a good idea to shoot 90-year-old into space.
How old was the woman that he sent up last time with him?
I don't think she was over 80.
Yeah, but she deserved to go up, right? She missed her chance.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and this is this is fine. I think, like, who cares who deserves what? We live in a world where the 1% are eating the smaller 1%, and the other 99.9% drizzle around like cummies in a pool of excrement.
I will say, William Shatner got hair replacement surgery that actually worked, which doesn't work for everyone. And he still has a full head of hair. There was a time, like in the 70s, he was kind of balding, and then he got the surgery. Now he's 90, and he's still got a full head of hair. So props to him on the hair. He doesn't actually look 90 either. I think he looks pretty good for 90, all things considered. I think he's probably had some facelifts, too, because his face isn't, wrinkly and shit.
Were you not a big Shatner fan?
I like Star Trek. I like all of it. Obviously, the ones in the 80s and 90s I like better, just because that's when I was a kid, the stuff that I watched. But I like the old ones for what it is. Shatner is kind of... I don't know him personally, so I just go by what I've heard about him, which might be inaccurate. But he seems like kind of an egomaniac a little bit.
Yeah, I met him at a party, and they had this giant shrimp tray, and he was just kept putting shrimp in his purse. And I was like, Shatner, what are you doing? He was like, he's like, I'm taking some shrimp home with me.
Have a good show, sweet boys. Poot poot.
Hey, have a good night at work, Rat Lord. Cheers, brother.
Yeah.
And no, I was lying about the meeting Shatner thing. I just thought it'd be funny to say that he was stealing shrimp in his purse.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know why he'd have a purse.
To steal the shrimp in.
He did have a wife that mysteriously died, though.
Most people had a wife that mysteriously died.
Yeah.
I had a wife that mysteriously didn't exist. I was cheating the taxes for like 7 years.
Is it going to be a dick rocket again?
Cock rocket.
Yeah, I see why they're doing it. I don't think it's going to get that much more attention. It's just going to make Shatner's ego bigger. Shatner was really weirded out by George Takei being gay, and he was the only one from the original cast that didn't show up to their gay wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I saw those two the same day, about an hour apart from one another. They did discussion panels, and they both talked shit about each other while the other one wasn't there.
That's great.
And people were, each one of them did a Q&A, and they're like, so what's your problem with George Takei? And he's like, well, I really don't know the man. I don't know. And they're like, you don't know him? You did
William Shatner?
Yeah, William Shatner was like, I don't know the guy.
Oh.
And it's like, well, you did 4 movies with him and 3 seasons of a TV show with him, and you don't know him?
Your William Shatner sounded like George Takei.
I just have a deep voice,
It's true. Yeah, I mean, you could work with somebody and not know them. I'm not.
I think he knew him. I think he's a liar.
Do you think they had a weird sexual encounter?
No, I think there was jealousy over Shatner had a lot of leverage and other people's lines and scenes would get dumped in exchange for more Shatner lines. And that kind of stuff even happened with the movies, because obviously they could make a Star Trek movie without Sulu in it, but you can't make a Star Trek movie with the original cast without Spock or Kirk. So a lot of the Star Trek movies wouldn't have happened except for Shatner was like, all right, I'll do it, but I have to direct it. There was a few that Shatner directed, and then there was a few that Nimoy directed. There was the one where they saved the whales. That was Leonard Nimoy being like, all right, I'll do it, but there has to be this pro-environmental message in it, and then I'll do it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
I like them taking the fans and just doing what they want with it.
Yeah. Poor Nimoy, though, man. I always liked Spock better than Kirk. Just the character. You
think if Spock was alive, that they would have sent him instead of...
They might have. Actually, a lot of people liked Leonard Nimoy a lot. And Leonard Nimoy, during that time of his life, was such a drunk. Every 15 minutes, he had an assistant that would come and bring him a little Dixie cup full of beer to keep him buzzed throughout the day.
Didn't he direct 3 Men and a Little Baby or something?
3 Men and a Baby, yeah. Yeah, that was his most successful movie as a director. And, it's it doesn't hold up today, but look at the box office revenue for that movie. It was insanely successful.
So Leonard Nimoy died at the age of 83.
Yeah, I think it was 2015.
Yeah, so he would be just older than Shatner?
Just a little bit.
Or just about.
Somewhere.
Oh, no, just younger. Because 2015 would have been 6 years ago. That put him not even in his 90s yet. Damn. He's a baby.
Yeah, 3 Men and a Baby, directed by Leonard Nimoy. That's insane, too. And I don't know if it got nominated for anything.
I wonder who had better movies, Leonard Nimoy or Yoda? Because Yoda directed a bunch of stuff,
You talking
too.
about Frank Oz?
Yeah, he directed a bunch of stuff.
That's kind of different. Because, we're talking about, an actual actor versus a voice actor.
Okay. Voice acting
Look
is
at
a
the
real
budget.
thing.
Look at the budget versus box office. $11 million budget and $240 million box office. That's a successful movie.
And music by Marvin Hamlish. That's money, baby.
I'm not familiar with their work.
Hamlish? Yeah, he's one of only 16 people to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He's got an EGOT.
An EGOT.
Hamlish got the EGOT.
So, you know what, though? I guess this is working a little bit because if I'm not busy while this launch happens, I'll probably watch it. I'll watch Shatner's goofy ass. I want him to sing. You know what? Sing is a weird word to use with Shatner because he doesn't sing. He talks. His albums where he's a singer is just like rhythmic talking. I'm a rocket man. There's no actual discernible notes, you know? I want him to sing I'm a Rocket Man live while he's floating around in space.
Why don't they put him up there with Elton John and they can do it together?
Why. Oh, yeah, they'll do it together, all right.
Yes. They do an old man gay hump. I'd be down for that. I don't care about things. Yeah, the last time Bezos went up, he had some weird kid go up with him because his dad bought a ticket on the ride, right?
Yeah. That's kind of like the dad who bought the ticket to the Hooker Island for his son.
Oh, that was so cool.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, Hooker Island was the coolest thing. I've never had a hooker, but I've also never been to a Hooker Island. So I'm thinking, best time to bust my cherry. I go to Hooker Island. I get like 5 or 6 stupid hookers on the island, eat all the food, get drunk, piss and shit myself in front of everybody because I'm paying to be there.
Hookers and blow. That's like the main attraction of that island.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna like eat and crap myself, and everybody's gonna have to deal with it because I paid to be on Hooker Island.
Man, that's one thing COVID definitely killed.
Hooker Island?
I mean, I haven't heard. I remember there was the one year there were like tons of news stories about it. And I don't know if it happened again after that, but COVID would probably definitely kill Hooker Island.
I think if you go on, you have like a 4-day quarantine before you float out. Maybe they put you in a quarantine position. Hooker Island would be a great place to quarantine at. The COVID can't make it to the island if you all stay there. All I want is buffets. That's what I miss the most.
All right, so the other big story aside from the Twitch leak is Facebook and other related websites having an outage. And they're not sure completely what caused it, but there's a lot of plausible theories. But
there was a whistleblower, right?
And we'll get to that too because I have an interview with her.
Facebook stock tanks amid mystery outrage.
Yeah, so like that morning when I woke up, I saw a news story about the Facebook whistleblower because they had found out who she was, and she's doing interviews, and I think she wrote a book about it because she had reported ethics violations anonymously, and she just now revealed her identity. And then later on that day, I'm trying to message people on Facebook Messenger, and it's not working, and I just think it's a bad internet connection or something. But it ended up being this worldwide outage of multiple social media websites.
Yeah. I was trying to contact my international connections via WhatsApp.
Do you use WhatsApp?
Only for my international connections.
In Europe, people use WhatsApp all the time.
My European connections, my Israeli connections. I got some Saudis. That's what the WhatsApp is for. And it was down. So I thought my Saudi money was gone. Facebook stock plunged on Monday following an outage that prevented global users from accessing their accounts. Facebook fell 4.9% on Monday, while CEO Mark Zuckerberg's personal wealth fell by roughly $7 billion on Monday.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. 4.9%, 5% doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've got as many shares as Mark Zuckerberg has, his net worth takes a literal hit. Like a fraction of his net worth just gets shaved off.
Yeah,
when that happens,
4.9% is like if he lost all his money down to $7 billion, I wouldn't feel bad for him. I don't like. Who cares? You're losing $7 billion because effectively you don't even have $7 billion.
I hate Facebook. I think it's totally antithetical to what it was created for originally, which was just to get like young adults that are in universities to like be able to talk to each other and communicate. That was the original vision, and opening it up to the general public probably wasn't a big issue either. But it's just become worse. I knew when I started getting Farmville invites that I didn't want to use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
And Facebook is just trash. Mark Zuckerberg, probably, I think he was the youngest like self-made billionaire ever. There are other people, but their family had money and they became billionaires young, like Kylie Jenner. She's technically the youngest billionaire, but she came from money. Zuckerberg didn't come from money. He just kind of made this shit. So that's a cool success story, but Facebook is trash. They're not getting rid of it though anytime soon.
Whenever I see a success story, I like to see all the people that were stepped on the way up. That's the real story.
Well, didn't he screw over his partner that he created Facebook with?
Yeah.
I think it was originally 3 people.
The Winklevoss twins were a part of it.
Yeah.
They were big in stirring up the crypto community for a while. They still might be. But I don't know for sure. I'm just glad that Mark Zuckerberg is alive and happy and healthy, and we're talking about him losing $7 billion other than all the other factors that came out during this whistleblowing.
Yeah, let's take a look at the interview. We won't watch the whole thing, but here's an interview from 60 Minutes where they interview the woman that is the Facebook whistleblower, and Billy was kind of throwing around a theory that the outage was related to them trying to divert attention to the outage rather than this woman, right?
Before all this, there was the Pandora Papers that came out, I think it was Sunday. And the Pandora Papers were showing all the hidden bank accounts that like world leaders and other very influential people have, where they're tax evading on a massive level.
Even Shakira got named in that, so it was entertainers too.
Yeah, it's a massive tax evasion scheme. It got leaked Sunday, and then Monday the entire internet goes out. Facebook is having their whistleblower, and the internet goes out. Next day, Bezos and Twitch leak Hassan Piker's personal sub count. I don't know what all was going on there. It's been a whole lot of information dumping this week. I wonder what information we're really missing.
See, the thing that kind of sucks is Facebook itself, the app itself, I think sucks. It's toxic for many reasons, and it's gotten worse since the government started cracking down on it. It's gotten progressively worse where like all context is lost and jokes will get you banned from it. But the Facebook Messenger app is actually a really well-made app. I think on its own, without the social network tied into it, it works really well and does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's a good app for messaging. I think Facebook is just a place where you go to keep in touch with your grandma. That's what Facebook's all about. Like, oh, grandma's playing Words with Friends.
Words with Friends.
I'm not going to message her. She can do her words on her own.
Grandma is the mayor of the old folks home.
Yeah, on Farmville.
Oh, I was. What was that like app where people would post where they are, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. The Follow Me Home app, the Stalk Me app.
Basically, I can't remember what it was called.
Twinder or Twinkle Toes or something.
But why would you want everyone to know you're not home right now? I don't know.
I want everybody to know that I'm not home right now because I have a pit bull there waiting for them.
Her name is Frances Haugen. That
Frances Haugen.
Fact that Facebook has been anxious to know since last month, when an anonymous former employee filed complaints with federal law enforcement. The complaints say Facebook's own research shows that it amplifies hate, misinformation, and political unrest, but the company hides what it knows. One complaint alleges that Facebook's Instagram harms teenage girls.
I mean, does it any more than any of the other social media sites? Like, does TikTok also?
Yeah, how does it?
There's like a total unattainable standard of beauty that's pushed on TikTok constantly, like unbelievably.
So that's why that's how they're saying it harms little girls.
I don't know. I don't know why they're saying Instagram harms little girls.
What makes Haugen's complaints unprecedented is the trove of private Facebook research she took when she quit in May. The documents appeared first last month in the Wall Street Journal, but tonight, Frances Haugen is revealing her identity to explain why she became the Facebook whistleblower.
She's revealing her identity because she has a book coming out.
Oh no.
The story will continue in a moment.
Okay.
60 minutes.
The thing I saw at Facebook over and over again was there were conflicts of interest between what was good for the public.
I personally feel like 60 Minutes is real Foursquare. That's what it is. Yep, Foursquare. That's where everyone would say, like, I'm not at home right now, so come rob my house while I'm over at the zoo or whatever.
I think Foursquare got taken over by one of the big companies.
Yeah, I think so.
Facebook has their version of tagging yourself.
Yeah.
And everything lets you tag now. Insta, Twitter, you can tag where you're at.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go to Foursquare to tell people you're not home anymore.
And what was good for
But yeah, 60 Minutes I think is real journalism more than a lot of other of these type of like news magazine
Facebook.
shows.
And Facebook over and over again chose to optimize for its own interests, like making more money.
Frances Haugen is 37, a data scientist from Iowa, with a degree in computer engineering and a Harvard master's degree in business. For 15 years, she's worked for companies including Google and Pinterest.
I've seen a bunch of social networks, and it was substantially worse at Facebook than anything I'd seen before.
No.
Someone else might have just quit and moved on. And I wonder why you take this stand.
Because she's a Karen.
Because she's getting attention. She's getting, and she's getting revenge, it looks like.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Apparently, you don't become a whistleblower unless someone slighted you normally.
Maybe you just
unless it's like,
stumble on something that needs to be told.
If it's like an atrocious thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about this so much as it being some like horrible, unforgivable thing. It's just confirming what we already knew Facebook was doing, right? Like, yeah, they push fake news. They want you to use their website. They want you to use it as much as you can all day, every day. And that's part of doing that is showing you what you want to see,
And you know what's going on inside of Facebook, and no one on the outside knows.
No, we know.
I knew what
maybe not every internal detail, but we already knew Facebook was doing this.
my future looked like if I continued to stay inside of Facebook, which is person after person after person has tackled this inside of Facebook and ground themselves to the ground.
When and how did it occur to you to take all of these documents out of the company?
At some point in 2021, I realized, okay, I'm going to have to do this in a systemic way, and I have to get out enough.
Even people at the bottom level, when they get a job at a big corporation, you sign an NDA.
Yeah.
So she signed an NDA, leaked this, but I don't know if it's because if they're not doing anything criminal, I don't know how you can bypass having an NDA. And this stuff doesn't sound criminal. It just sounds unethical. So I'm not sure how she could not get sued for leaking this
Maybe
stuff.
they will sue her, but maybe she's banking she'll make more money off the lawsuit.
That no one can question that this is real.
And maybe the
She
NDA
secretly
involves
copied
very
tens of thousands
specific
of-
things. But this sounds like if she's secretly copying things that she's got more. This probably violates the NDA, right?
Pages of Facebook internal research.
The company I said before, the phone company, me as a ground level employee, just someone answering the phones had to sign an NDA. So
she says
someone
evidence
at this
shows
level,
that the company is lying to the public about making significant progress against hate, violence.
Also, a lot of times, what they'll do is when you sign the contract, when you get hired at a large corporation, they make you agree normally to not work for the competition for like up to 6 months.
Yeah, no compete clause.
Yeah, yep.
That's normal.
Yep.
violence and misinformation.
Because you know internal
One
information
study she
at that
found
point.
from this year says, we estimate that we may action as little as 3 to 5% of hate and about 0.6% of violence and incitement on Facebook, despite being the best in the world at it. To quote from another one of the documents you brought out, we have evidence from a variety of sources that hate speech, divisive political speech, and misinformation on Facebook and the family of apps are affecting societies around the world.
I mean, when has a multi-billion-dollar corporation cared about how they're affecting people versus their bottom line, which Facebook, their business is how much time, how many minutes of your day do you devote to being on Facebook and interacting with it?
Think of all the companies that dump toxic sludge into the earth and
Yeah.
get away with it. This is just dumping toxic masculinity.
It's the internet version of toxic sludge into the American well, not just American culture, just culture in general, world culture.
The new culture.
Yep.
When we live in an information environment that is full of angry, hateful, polarizing content, it erodes our civic trust, it erodes our faith in each other, it erodes our ability to want to care for each other. The version of Facebook that exists today is tearing our societies apart and causing ethnic violence around the world.
Ethnic violence, including Myanmar in 2018, when the military used Facebook to launch a
Okay, so this is horrible, but is Facebook responsible for the Myanmar government using Facebook as a tool to do what they did? I don't know all the specifics. Did Facebook encourage or amplify this, or did the government just use their platform as anyone else would?
When Christine posted that looking for a boyfriend-free girl on their college cork board, their bulletin board, would the college be held liable for that girl eventually falling in love with Christine? Like, that's what I'm saying. Is the bulletin board at fault?
Yes. Yes, so Facebook is totally at fault.
Oh.
Execute them.
The first quarter of 2019.
Frances Haugen told us she was recruited by Facebook in 2019. She says she agreed to take the job.
They're outside of Titan Towers. You see that? The WWF headquarters.
Oh, snap.
Job only if she could work against
That panda can wrestle.
I think that's Yokozuna.
Because she had lost a friend to online conspiracy theories.
I never wanted anyone to feel the pain that I had felt.
Oh, so this is it. This is at least the reason she's giving for doing this. Oh, I fell victim to online conspiracy theories. So I didn't want someone to have to experience the pain I had. That might be a factor of it, but she's doing a national news interview right now. She's getting attention, and she's sticking it to her former employer.
And I had seen how high the stakes were in terms of making sure there was high quality information on Facebook.
At headquarters, she was assigned
one hack away.
Yeah, that's where their headquarters is. Just like you said, though, Facebook shouldn't be a place to get news. I don't think it should be a place to talk to your grandma, play words with friends, share photos, that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be a news source.
Unfortunately, Facebook is the number one place where you want to get independent information on vaccines. If you want to do your own investigations, don't bother searching anywhere else. Just go to Facebook and find a group of anti-vaxxers, and they'll tell you all the real truths about things, according to psychos that use Facebook as a frickin' news outlet.
To civic integrity.
I just don't feel comfortable because I did my own independent investigation. Okay. I hope you're right. I hope that Ben and I and everybody else who got poked get sick and die. Then
which worked on risks to elections, including misinformation. But after this past election, there was a turning point.
They told us we're dissolving civic integrity. Like they basically said, oh, good, we made it through the election. There wasn't riots. We can get rid of civic integrity now. Fast forward a couple months, we got the insurrection. And when they got rid of civic integrity, it was the moment.
The insurrection, like Facebook may have been the tool to help fuel it, but it's Donald Trump and his cohorts that convinced a bunch of idiots that their election was stolen from them.
Yeah, and these guys, they didn't need Facebook to meet up, right?
No.
It was just one of the bulletin boards from which they searched for their boyfriend-free girlfriend.
They have their own, they have, Gab, and they're like right-wing places where they can post this shit. Facebook, they don't need Facebook to communicate with each other and plan things.
Where I was like, I don't trust that they're willing to actually invest what needs to be invested to keep Facebook from being dangerous.
Facebook says the work of civic integrity was distributed to other units.
In 2018,
Haugen.
I mean, Facebook is more dangerous because of the creepers that are on there.
Well,
that's the greater potential danger than a bunch of right-wing wackos communicating with each other.
Told us the root of Facebook's problem
Open Bobs
is in a change that it made in 2018 to its algorithms, the programming that decides what you see on your Facebook newsfeed.
So, you have your phone. You might see only 100 pieces of content if you sit and scroll off for, 5 minutes. But Facebook has thousands of options it could show you.
The algorithm picks from those.
It picks from what's around to try to show you things that will keep you using the website as long as possible.
yeah, that's why I stopped using Facebook around 2018, because I saw the algorithm switch, and I was like, fuck you.
That's how YouTube is,
This ain't my life. I don't really use YouTube anymore.
No.
I go and I search Magic the Gathering cards.
You search for what you want. You don't
Exactly.
wait for YouTube to tell you what you want to
Hell
watch.
no. Every once in a while, I'll click a thumbnail that's got ridiculously giant boobs in it.
Well, there
and
it
it turns
is.
out there's that's just a thumbnail. There's
That's how they
nothing in the
get you.
video with giant boobs.
Look how they
kind
get you.
of content you've engaged with the most in the past.
And one of the consequences of how Facebook is picking out that content today is that it is optimizing for content that gets engagement or reaction. But its own research is showing that content that is hateful, that is divisive, that is polarizing, it's easier to inspire people to anger than it is to other emotions.
Misinformation, angry content
Yeah.
is enticing to people and
Very enticing.
keeps them on.
It's kind of like
Very
how someone goes to a restaurant and the food's good, or at least what they expected. They're not going to leave a positive Yelp review as likely as they would be to leave it if everything was terrible there.
I only leave positive reviews. If anybody wants, if I feel like I'm going to review something, it's only going to be a positive one. Nothing that bad would make me make a negative review on anybody, because I don't put negativity out into the world, and that's why everybody makes fun of me for being so tall, because they want to put negativity into my world and they know I don't stand for it.
Okay.
Platform.
Yes. Facebook has realized that if they change the algorithm to be safer, people will spend less time on the site, they'll click on less ads, they'll make less money.
Haugen says Facebook understood the danger to the 2020 election, so it turned on safety systems to reduce misinformation.
Yeah, we can't rely on mega corporations to do the right thing ethically when it stands in the way of larger revenue for them. So this is something that we can't allow them to police internally. If this is actually as big of a problem as you say, it would have to be done outwardly by the government and regulation. That would be the only way. We can't rely on them to do the right thing overall. When left to their own devices, they're going to choose profit and revenue over being a good corporate citizen.
Are we talking about the healthcare system? Or are we talking about the incarceration system? Or are we talking about every other
the
corporate
incarceration system?
I mean, it's a business. This is literally how America is. None of this is really set up to protect the people. It's to protect the private interests of businesses, and not just Facebook, and everywhere. Facebook is just something that the normie human being is interested in, because that's where they go to get their frickin' Farmville jollies.
But many of those changes, she says, were temporary.
And as soon as the election was over, they turned them back off, or they changed the settings back to what they were before to prioritize growth over safety. And that really feels like a betrayal of democracy to me.
Facebook says some of the safety systems remained, but after the election, Facebook was used by some to organize the January 6th insurrection.
Yeah, the same way
prosecutors cite
the same way
Facebook-
all the other sites were used.
Facebook has been used when, like in Iran, when they were kind of fighting back against a crooked election, a legit crooked election in Iran. It was being used in a good way, but then the government there shut it down.
You can
know?
use a hammer to build a house or to tear down one, right? Like that's it depends on how you use the tool. Facebook is a tool. If you have somebody come in and instead of using the hammer to build, they use the hammer to destroy, and they're not supposed to destroy what they're destroying with that hammer, you got to take the person using the hammer out.
I don't blame the tool in of itself.
Yeah, because I sometimes late at night, I want to go and challenge my grandma to a game of Words with Friends and beat her mercilessly because she can't spell. I want to do that.
Posts as evidence, photos of armed partisans, and text including, "By bullet or ballot, restoration of the Republic is coming." Extremists used many platforms, but Facebook is a recurring theme.
That's because the average age of the user, and it does still have the largest user base, too.
Yeah, it's because Facebook is one place where most of the people involved can go to share it. Most people, those that are involved with the other sites, Twitter, Parler, Dickhead, whatever the other ones are called, Pinterest, they go from there and they go to all their other sites and they share. It's part of a network. Blaming Facebook for that is kind of crazy. And it's ignoring it's a totally different problem. But it's ignoring the problem of what we're dealing with here.
After the attack,
People is crazy.
Facebook employees raged on an internal message board copied by Haugen. Haven't we had enough time to figure out how to manage discourse without enabling violence? We looked for positive comments and found this. I don't think our leadership team ignores data, ignores dissent, ignores truth. But that drew this reply. Welcome to Facebook. I see you just joined in November 2020. We have been watching wishy-washy actions of company leadership for years now. Colleagues cannot conscience working for a company that does not do more to mitigate the negative effects of its platform.
And now this comes from the position of somebody who wants to choose what's negative and what's positive. And that's another slippery slope. That's dangerous when Facebook can just say, okay, this is all negative. Your right to free speech is negative. Let's get rid of it altogether. You can post about Farmville and Tickle Touch with the kids, whatever you do. I don't know, two-hand touch. It's football. Whatever the kids play these days. I don't know the games. But if they start governing what you could say, that's scary too. I want the people who are out here inciting violence to get caught doing it and then have charges pressed against them. Maybe use them trying to incite violence before it happens so that, hey, we're going to meet up January 6th. People in power then put more people on the streets there to defend the fucking area. Unfortunately, the person in power was like, no, hold back. They're just having fun. They're going to have a little bit of a barbecue with our Capitol building. Who cares?
Facebook essentially amplifies the worst of human nature.
It's one of these unfortunate consequences, right? No one at Facebook is malevolent, but the incentives are misaligned, right? Like Facebook makes more money when you consume more content.
Everybody's saying that Facebook, free speech is the government, not private companies. You have no right to free speech on Facebook. Facebook could just start phasing out one certain viewpoint, and we can see it here with the goddamn algorithm. They're phasing out everything that's not driving you in negatively. They can start phasing out the flow of speech, and yeah, it's their right as a company to do it, but we shouldn't be encouraging it unless... We should be encouraging the freedom of speech as what we sign on a platform for when we talk. And those that violate the terms of service or certain levels of speech that lead to violence, let them be dealt with. But that doesn't mean we have to preventively keep people from talking openly. And the idea that a business can do that, sure. Should they do it? I don't think so.
I mean, there's. I remember how Facebook was 10 years ago. It was way less internally regulated than it is now. There was no fact-checking stuff, and you wouldn't get put in Facebook jail for spreading conspiracy theories and that kind of stuff.
But who watches
there would still be limitations, So there's always going to be limitations of some type. The question is, how restrictive are they going to be? And they only started being restrictive when Zuckerberg got called in front of Congress and they grilled him for a few hours. Then everything started changing. Then the fact checkers came in. Then the bans started coming in. You can get banned. It's not even just spreading conspiracy theories. People will get their accounts suspended for posting stuff even in like the DP Facebook group.
Yeah.
Where, they called someone a cunt or something like that.
I don't think I've ever been banned from social media.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that doesn't happen to me either because I don't mess around. But now, if with Facebook groups now, if moderators of your group get flagged for misinformation, then your whole group can get shut down now. And I get alerts all the time from people whose posts got removed. Some of them from 6 years ago. Posts from 6 years ago, every now and then will get flagged and taken down from Facebook, from the Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
By engaging with things that elicit an emotional reaction. And the more anger that they get exposed to, the more they interact and more they consume.
That dynamic led to a complaint to Facebook by major political parties across Europe. This 2019 internal report obtained by Haugen says that the parties feel strongly that the change to the algorithm has forced them to skew negative in their communications on Facebook, leading them into more extreme policy positions. The European political parties were essentially saying to Facebook, the way you've written your algorithm is changing the way we...
So someone in the chat just said, when it's affecting people's health, it should be limited, like the anti-vax stuff. The problem is that it can't be viewed, like all of the stuff that happens on Facebook can't be reviewed by a real person. So in a lot of instances, like we've experienced here on YouTube, context gets lost, and then people are getting banned for simply repeating views, anti-vaxxer views, and saying, well, this is dumb, but because they repeated it, they got treated as if they were spreading it, even when they're speaking out against it. So that's part of the problem with this kind of stuff. Is they do it overkill, and there's a lot of collateral damage, and then especially smaller creators and regular users can't say certain things for fear of getting punished for something they're not even actually doing.
We lead our countries.
Yes. You are forcing us to take positions that we don't like, that we know are bad for society. We know if we don't take those positions, we won't win in the marketplace of social media.
Evidence of harm, she says, extends to Facebook's Instagram app. One of the Facebook internal studies that you found talks about how Instagram harms teenage girls.
Oh, yeah.
One study says...
Why'd she roll her eyes?
She is very mad at Facebook for harming teenage girls.
I think that's a weird reaction. You're doing an interview with 60 Minutes... And he's like, okay, well, you said Instagram is harmful to teenage girls. And she's like, oh, yeah. And then she rolled her eyes. Why roll your eyes? That's such a weird reaction.
How Instagram harms teenage girls.
Oh, yeah.
One study says 13.5% of teen girls say Instagram makes thoughts of suicide worse. 17%.
I don't use Instagram, but I don't understand. How does it make thoughts of suicide worse?
Maybe they post a picture and they don't get the likes they want. And so they feel
Is that what makes you think about suicide?
No, I think about suicide for more altruistic reasons.
Oh, okay.
Of teen
How
girls
I could reduce my carbon footprint.
Instagram makes eating disorders worse.
And what's super
It's all those
tragic...
pictures of food people take. Like, here's a picture of my lunch. Like, oh, it looks so good. I want to eat a lunch now.
As Facebook's own research says, as these young women begin to consume this eating disorder content, they get more and more depressed, and it actually makes them use the app more. And so they end up in this feedback cycle where they hate.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, someone in the pleb chat just made another point. Rask 1904. YouTube Shorts was something that YouTube came up with to kind of mimic,
TikTok.
Yeah, and all it is like boobs and booty. Not all, but a lot of it. That's all. Like,
but that's what TikTok is. A lot of the way.
I know, but why would you? See, they'll get rid of it just like they got rid of stories eventually. Because stories were them mocking or mimicking.
But that was Twitter, right? The Twitter stories.
Well, they had like a stories thing.
Oh,
I can't remember what it was. I think it was called Stories too. But yeah, and it was more like Snapchat type stuff. Like,
okay,
yeah.
I think they just try to take the market away from these other companies, and when they can't, they fail. They ditch it. But when they do, they just keep it and it integrates.
Yeah.
More and more. Facebook's own research says it is not just that Instagram is dangerous for teenagers, that it harms teenagers. It's that it is distinctly worse than other forms of social media.
Because
Facebook said just last.
It's picture based, so you're looking at images. But then I don't know if you know this. Twitter is 240 characters or 280 characters now.
Instagram's unlimited, right?
Well, Instagram, I don't know word wise, but Instagram is one picture. And that's 1,000 words. That's like 4 tweets. So of course it's going to be 4 times as volatile as
you could put
a Twitter
pictures
post.
on Twitter too.
Yeah, but a picture's worth 1,000 words. Man.
Okay.
It would
Do the
postpone
math.
plans to create an Instagram for younger children.
Instagram for kids.
Haugen's lawyers filed at least 8.
Yeah, there totally won't be creepers making sock accounts to get on Instagram for kids,
complaints
right?
with the Securities and Exchange Commission, which enforces the law in financial markets. The complaints compare the internal research with the company's public face, often that of CEO Mark Zuckerberg, here testifying remotely to Congress last March.
We remove content that could lead to imminent real-world harm. We've built an unprecedented third-party fact-checking program. The system isn't perfect.
The system isn't perfect.
He barely looks human.
I mean, he probably spends a lot of time in a gelatin incubator.
Did you see the picture of him paddleboarding and he's like covered in zinc oxide?
Yeah.
So he looks all weird and white.
He needs his skin not to get damaged by the sun.
He's a ginger.
But it's the best approach that we've found to address misinformation in line with our country's values.
One
in
of
line with our
Francis
country's
Haugen's lawyers
values.
is John Ty. He's the founder of a
I like when they take Mark Zuckerberg and Photoshop him to make him look like Data from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
I wonder if our girl Gail Cord Schuler's got a crush on the Zuck.
Maybe.
Does she want to
I mean, look at
Zuckerberg?
without editing. He is Data. I mean, he might be a positronic man.
Positronic man.
Washington legal group called Whistleblower Aid. What is the
Oh, they
legal
give the
theory
whistleblowers AIDS
behind
now?
going to the SEC?
Whistleblower.
What laws
They
are
give
you
whistleblowers AIDS now.
alleging have been broken?
As a publicly traded company, Facebook is required to not lie to its investors or even
Okay.
withhold material information.
Okay, you know
So
what?
the SEC regularly brings
This could be illegal then. Yeah, he's right.
It's illegal.
Because it's publicly traded.
enforcement
It's just like when companies lie about their earnings to fool their shareholders. That's a big deal, and that's happened before.
actions alleging that companies like Facebook and others are making material misstatements and omissions that affect investors adversely.
One of the things that Facebook might allege is that she stole company documents.
The Dodd-Frank Act passed over 10 years ago at this point, created an office of the whistleblower inside the SEC. And one of the provisions of that law says that no company can prohibit its employees from communicating with the SEC and sharing internal corporate documents with the SEC.
It's the Dodd-Frank.
So that's why she can't get sued for an NDA. She's not leaking it to the competition. She's leaking it to the regulatory part of the government.
The Dodd-Frank.
I have a lot of empathy for Mark, and Mark has never set out to make a hateful platform, but he has allowed choices to be made where the side effects of those choices are that hateful, polarizing content gets more distribution, more reach.
Yeah, it was Chris Dodd and Barney Frank.
Does that have anything to do with Annie Frank or Anne Frank?
No, Chris Dodd and Barney Frank. They were Democratic senators that
Wasn't Barney Frank gay?
Yes, he was.
Nice.
Facebook declined an interview, but in a written statement to 60 Minutes, it said, "Every day our teams have to balance protecting the right of billions of people to express themselves openly with the need to keep our platform a safe and positive place. We continue to make significant improvements to tackle the spread of misinformation and harmful content. To suggest we encourage bad content and do nothing is just not true."
I mean, you're not literally doing nothing, but maybe you're just not doing enough, or it's looking like you're trying to do something, but you really don't give a shit.
If as a government we told Facebook that when someone logs into Facebook they had a warning screen that gives them, you know how they have the warning labels on cigarettes, and in Canada they're even worse, where they have pictures of people with throat cancer on their cigarette packs.
Yeah.
You log in, you get this factoid of truth based on how what social media will do to you, and every 15 to 20 minutes it posts another thing and says, hey, by the way, you're being sucked into our algorithm. Just to let you know that, sucker, we're keeping you here, dumbass. How do you battle this?
If any research had identified an exact solution to these complex challenges, the tech industry, governments, and society...
It's kind of similar to what casinos do to keep you in there and keep you gambling and shit. There's no clocks. There's no windows that face the outside unless you walk to the very edges of the casino floor. There's all the bright shiny lights, and
they bring you free drinks.
Yep, yeah, cocktail waitresses. They're nice looking ladies usually too.
That's the little titty thumbnails you get on Facebook.
Yeah,
to click.
Yep. Basically.
And they're dopamine.
And they just they try to make you forget how much time you're spending there, because the longer you're there, the chances are, if you're not even gambling, you're still buying drinks or you're buying food or whatever.
Would have solved them a long time ago. Facebook is a $1 trillion company, just 17 years old.
Wow.
It has 2.8 billion users, which is 60% of all internet-connected people on Earth. Frances Haugen plans to testify before Congress this week.
All right, how about...
Testify!
How about we break it up? How about Facebook has to sell Instagram? Let's bust up the Facebook monopoly. How about that?
But
how about no more news
it?
on Facebook? News-related stuff just banned from Facebook.
How about everything is owned by our government? And
that's communism.
Oops. I accidentally made us communists.
Believes the federal government should impose regulations.
Facebook has demonstrated they cannot act independently. Facebook over and over again has shown it chooses profit over safety. It is subsidizing, it is paying for its profits with our safety.
Facebook and Google are small countries, right? Or big countries even.
You mean the population of their user base?
Their user base, their influence. They do things that, they have the Facebook platform can incite the Myanmar and all the other
genocides?
Isn't that what they said earlier?
Myanmar was a genocide.
Wasn't it incited by Facebook, they said? Or
it was the government used it to assist them in the genocide that they committed in Myanmar.
Yeah. So they have a crazy world influence. They have effectively maybe a Facebook user doesn't account for an actual civilian of a country, but it does have some of the power. Your voting is in real time, and the outcome of your your views and your work does have an effect on the world. They're kind of like little countries.
Hoping that this will have had a big enough impact on the world that they get the fortitude and the motivation to actually go put those regulations into place. That's my hope.
More from the face.
In a world
where both of our cars are underwater.
No.
Here's Senator Lindsey Graham getting booed at a fundraiser.
If you hadn't had the vaccine, you ought to think about getting it, because if you're my age...
Yeah, it's funny when even Republican politicians that are buddies with Trump, they can't even when they try to do the responsible thing and encourage people to get the vaccine, this is what they get.
Trump said it himself and got booed.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy, and this is the perfect visual of what a politician does. There's Lindsey. I assume Lindsey Graham tucks tail a little bit here.
Eventually, we'll see. I haven't watched the whole thing, but it's weird because this is what's going on. Or at least what I see. They're pushing their own following so far to the right that eventually they're not going to be right-wing conspiracy theorist wackos enough for them. And these people will move towards people even further into this than they are. Like the Marjorie Taylor Greene type people that will just flat out say crazy stuff. You know, Trump has said stuff and tried to like dial it back before.
It's great because like these Republicans, they're more left of their base, and our Democrats are more right of their base.
Yes.
It's almost like they're all in the fucking middle and we're fighting over crazy shit.
The fringe ones, the ones that like the really far right Republicans or the really far left Democrats on the fringe, they're usually held down so that they can't get very far. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with AOC.
Well,
if she runs for president, they're going to do everything they can to make sure she doesn't get the nomination. So
she flipped her vote on the Iron Dome.
That didn't look good.
Yeah, so like she's playing the part. She's following in line. She'll be a beautiful new shade of center before too long.
I didn't tell you to get it. You ought to think about it.
You got to think about it.
I got it. 92% of the people in the hospitals in South Carolina are vaccinated.
Okay, he's being smart. He's being smart about it.
He's holding the line here. Is that King Kong Bundy in the back or Big Boss Man? Is he wearing Big Boss Man's gimmick?
Neither of those guys are alive.
Oh.
You see a lot of dead people in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, that's COVID.
And there have been far too many of these at far too many schools. And so we are grateful for the courage and the heroism of the first responders. And we are hopeful.
This is Ted Cruz pivots during news conference.
Ted Cruz is good for a good pivot.
Or individuals who may have been injured will come through and survive. We're here today because of the Biden border crisis that continues to rage on the southern border.
All right, so we dropped in there to hear a little bit of Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
Oh, that's it?
Well, thank you for that wonderful commentary.
So, basically, there was a thing that had to do with, I see what they're doing here. It was just a short clip, and it wasn't contextually set up right. So, Ted Cruz, who's a senator in Texas, was giving a news conference about a school shooting in Texas, and then he was like, well, we're actually here to talk about Biden's border crisis.
Nice. Let him know. So, I don't know. Could you imagine traveling through South America, Central America, Mexico, and your toughest stop is Texas?
Yeah, I mean, and they came from an island, too. They had to, like, cross water to make it into Central America. And, yeah.
You're like, I couldn't get any worse than this. And then you end up in frickin' Texas. You're like, oh, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
We're in Texas.
Should have crossed to New Mexico. Oh, this is people in New York City protesting the vaccine mandate there. That guy's doing the Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. I liked him. Come on, Giacomo.
Oh, not his canopy tent.
Wait, there's little kids there. Knock them over too. Oh my God, dude.
I think a little girl got hit in the head.
She almost did, yeah. Hey, I'm glad they took down this tent.
I think a lot of these people like just want an excuse to act like a fool in public, and they don't even really give a shit about the vaccines or not the vaccines.
I'm sure they give. I don't know. Some people really do believe that they're saving the world's life by doing this. But these are the same people that go and protest in front of a Planned Parenthood, and it's like, let the damn dumb girl that got knocked up kill a little baby. She shouldn't have to carry that for 9 months if she don't want to. You shouldn't have to. And, if you don't want to get your vaccine, go find a job somewhere that hires out of the vax. Go move to Pandlefuck, Florida. And you can
Pandlefuck.
Yeah, down in the Florida Pandlefuck, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, get a couple guys.
I mean, it's just gonna. The longer this goes on, the more restrictive the mandates will get. Right now, it's just to keep your job if you work in certain types of jobs, but there can be just an overall public mandate for citizens of your state or the whole nation, depending on how they decide to roll this out. It can happen. I mean, the evidence is out there. It's an effective way to not get or spread the disease. So
over 90% of people in the hospitals right now are the unvaccinated ones. That's pretty.
I mean, yeah, that's not a coincidence. Here's Beverly Hills firefighters protesting against the mandate. It's like firefighters they don't just fight fires. They have an ambulance. They're treating people medically. Anyone working in the medical field should have it.
Glenn, it was an extremely packed event that drew more than 100 people. You had protesters there, you had Beverly Hills Fire Department personnel, and also firefighters from across the region. They said it was important to be here today to show their support, and they're, of course, fighting a vaccine mandate that's affecting fire departments like the one here in Beverly Hills, which, by the way, officials say about 80% of firefighters have been vaccinated,
for freedom.
but that 20% of their firefighters are still unvaccinated. And some of those firefighters we spoke with said that their constitutional rights are being violated since about 24 firefighters submitted religious exemption requests and feel that they're...
Yeah, because the religious exemption thing is bullshit. It shouldn't even exist at all for anybody.
I think we've gotten like 300 religious exempts passed in Washington State for firefighters and police officers.
There were a lot of people that made them. I don't agree with religious exemption for this anyway, but... chances are a lot of them it's bullshit. Like I heard people that said that it was against their Catholic religion to get it, but there's literally like the Pope got vaccinated. So, and basically what the Pope says goes. If you're a devout Catholic, you believe that the Pope is the successor to Jesus Christ. So he's basically infallible. And his decisions are as good as the word of God on earth.
Did you see those French Catholic leaks that happened this week too?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And you know what? The only thing I'll say about that is there's a group of people that anytime you talk about the truth about the Catholic Church and how it enables abuse and stuff, they'll put it as if they're like, oh, do you know how many people are Catholic? You're going to group them all together. It's like, no, it's not the normal people who believe in the Catholic religion. It's the institution of the church, the powerful institution, not the Catholic followers.
I like to call them enablers.
I mean, maybe to some degree they do, but they're not as responsible for it, not even close, as the institution itself.
They're more victims in the institution.
Jobs are in jeopardy if they don't comply, prompting some firefighters to cave to
They
what
were
they call
groomed
pressure
by the
of getting
Catholic Church.
inoculated. They took that first dose.
Quite
Again, some
literally.
of those religious exemption requests were accepted, but not all. We spoke with a spokesperson for the city of Beverly
Ooh, I bet you she's cringe rapping.
When you when you get your first communion as a Catholic, you dress up as a little kid, like first or second grade, basically like as if it's your wedding. Like little girls wear white dresses with veils, and little boys wear like little suits, like they're getting married. It's weird.
Who told us their hands are in essence tied here, that they're just enforcing a mandate for employees that was handed down by Los Angeles County, an October deadline requiring proof of vaccination. Now here in Beverly Hills, EMTs and paramedics have been impacted under this new policy. So far,
You know what? And I said that like that's the weirdest part, but you're doing a supernatural cannibalistic ritual.
Yeah.
Also, I forgot to point that part out.
Yeah, and they give you wine as blood.
Yeah, but see, that's one religious exemption where it's okay to give alcohol to children, regardless of the state laws there.
Yeah.
It's watered down, though, and they only give you like a sip of it. So you
Worst.
don't...
Give me a shot.
firefighters who have not
I
been
want a big
inoculated,
frothy
they will not
Jesus
be
shot
allowed
of
to join
vodka.
Patients or
A
perform
Jesus
other
load.
paramedic duties. Some firefighters we interviewed, they say they feel that they should not be forced to get vaccinated and that it should suffice to wear a mask or other personal.
They're probably the same people who didn't want to wear a mask originally, but they're like trying to negotiate now.
Do they have like a Jesus communion like Lunchable? Where it's like the flesh of Jesus and the wine of Jesus in a little Lunchable package?
It's known as the Eucharist.
I should make Eucharist Lunchables and sell them.
Equipment, they say that should be
The
enough.
Catholics.
They wouldn't take it.
This is.
If I get the Pope to sign off on it?
There's been some long emotional days, and to see my brothers.
Well, let me know when you got that.
Make these decisions and be forced into these decisions when all we've ever wanted to do and will continue to do is serve this community at the highest level possible.
Will people ultimately be fired if they refuse?
That guy.
It's the French Angel.
I know that guy's got a look. He looks like
Shrek.
like a handsome Shrek.
A process. It's a process, and we need to go through that process. Certainly.
Well, I mean, a handsome
Our
Shrek.
hope is that our employees will recognize that this is a county mandate. There's a reason that the county and the state are requiring healthcare workers, frontline workers, to be vaccinated. They're the first line of response with the public.
Why'd they have to get
And so if
the
they're
most
not
ghoulish-looking motherfucker to defend our side?
I mean, I think he's some sort of
He's
official.
qualified?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Vaccinated, that presents a danger to them and the public.
As for where things stand with the city of Los Angeles,
Mo! Bloody Mo!
To KTLA that roughly 62% of firefighters have been fully vaccinated and that roughly 70% of those have received
DJ Cryptos Rock says, "Shut up, Billy. That's my dad. Send me your picture. I want to see what you look like."
He's the French Angel.
Imagining that your dad is that guy and that guy pulled a woman. I can only imagine. Like, imagine if this was his wife, your mom, and that was him. What would you look like? You would look like an actual cave troll with a big old blotchy bump on your chin, the nasty Shrek nose. You'd have he was bald, she has long, beautiful hair, but yours would probably be somewhere in between. You'd have like Einstein, but it'd probably be red. You'd probably have red hair at that point. Like
So you look like a fucking
bristly
clown.
Yes. Boggle 'em rock.
So I guess Trump's going to have to testify pretty soon, and he asked Biden to withhold his financial records.
Joe, we did very well on the run together when we ran for president. And one of us may have won. I'm not sure which one it was, but
Tonight
you think you could help me out and maybe do me a solid and give me a little religious exemption from this prosecution, please?
We are following a significant development in the Capitol riot investigation. The White House will not block Congress from obtaining Trump-era records related to the January 6th.
Oh, so it's not financial records. It's his internal records from the insurrection.
Insurrection. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
Why would you
joins
not want those to get out? Like, wouldn't you want to say, I let my internal records out to show that I did everything possible to stop this from happening? Unless you're guilty as hell.
Now. So, Chris, how would this impact the congressional investigation?
Well, Margaret, late today, Mr. Trump blasted the Biden administration, saying Democrats are drunk on power. His lawyers had sought to block the release of these Trump-era White House documents that pertain to the former president's false claims of election fraud and the run-up to January 6th.
Yeah, Democrats are drunk on power because they didn't put all their power in the hands of Rudolph Giuliani. Oops.
Yeah, and now that they're in power, they can go after the people that did what they did while they were in power.
They're drunk on power because they didn't put drunks in power.
Right. So it's crazy. I want to see what these records say, because if they could show in any way that Trump knew he was trying to make this happen, it's not going to look good. I still don't know. Well, he wouldn't be able to pardon himself anymore.
No, not right now. And there's a lot of information showing that they knew that they were falsifying the claims of the election being stolen, and they were just trying to steal the election back. That's
Learned that
pretty
former
bad.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows does
Oh, yeah. If there's proof that he was knowingly lying, then that's a whole new thing.
appear to be engaging with the House committee investigating January 6th, but former White House advisor Steve Bannon's lawyers say following...
Whoa, he looks like shit right there. He's got like cancer growing on the side of his head.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going
Mr.
on.
Trump's
My
claim
guy
of
looks like he
executive-
just rolled out of the backseat of a Prius that him and Dirty Mike and the boys ran a gangbang on each other. And
he's got melanoma or something.
privilege.
I don't know.
Something,
Bannon
yeah.
will not comply with his subpoena.
Wow, he
the
looks
committee says
like
it is
shit.
considering holding Bannon in contempt of Congress.
who's going to play
Margaret?
him in the Oliver... who's
Oliver and Company?
Oliver and Company. Who's the big director that does all the
Oliver-
presidential movies?
It's not Oliver Stone, is it?
Yeah,
I don't
Oliver
know.
Stone.
Okay.
Yeah, who's going to play him in the
Jeff
Oliver Stone?
Bridges, someone just said.
Jeff Bridges, that would work. I was thinking maybe Brian Cox, like a
We
dirty
also
Brian
learned
Cox.
today from the House Oversight Committee that the building behind you, the former president's hotel, was bringing in millions of dollars, but it wasn't actually turning a profit. What do the numbers actually show?
Well, according to these documents, while the former president said during his presidency he made about $150 million off the hotel, it actually lost $70 million and required a $24 million transfusion of cash from the Trump organization.
Poor Trump.
While the former president said he would not benefit from foreign governments, it does appear the hotel took in nearly $4 million in revenue from foreign governments. Margaret?
Which could pose a potential conflict of interest. Chris Van Cleve, thank you.
Foreign governments, if you want to come stay in Washington, D.C., you can stay at my Trump Tower Hotel. Come on in, foreign governments. No, we're going to stay at the Four Seasons.
Yeah, or the Ritz-Carlton. Come on, man.
Well, they show up at the Four Seasons, and Giuliani's there, and it's a freaking landscaping business.
Yeah.
Trump unveils new super PAC, and Twitter users can't stop howling at the name.
What is it?
Oh, my God. Donald Trump announced a new super PAC on Monday, and his critics couldn't get over the name. No! Make America Great Again, again.
That sounds like a joke. Oh, look at the logo. Oh,
MAGA again. MAGA again. What would be a better one? Mama, make America money again. Because Trump just wants your money with this super PAC. I swear this was an SNL bit or something before it was real. See, I feel like SNL would make a better joke than this, and they make terrible jokes.
These days, yes.
This is funny because of how terrible it is, but not like SNL wouldn't do this.
MAGA 2 Electric Boogaloo.
That's a good one. I would have made that joke 9,000 times. So now it's MAGA.
It's Make America Great Again. It's
Again.
redundant. It's stupid.
I have to.
I almost feel like they're trolling us.
I have to make America great again over the toilet.
Oh God!
So I will be right back.
You're making America worse by doing that. Don't forget there's spray in
I'm
there.
making my bladder better again.
Oh, sure, it's your bladder, not your colon. Colon blow. I'll tell you what. I avoid the bathroom usually for a little while after Billy's been punishing the toilet. He's been eating pork rinds for the last hour, or last hour and 40 some odd minutes. Everyone, please like the stream if you could. Give us a like. Fridays are off days. I want to thank everyone who threw in a couple bucks. It's going pretty good. Tomorrow we're doing our Saturday bonus show, and we're hoping to meet the goal. And we're going to read off your Streamlabs in a minute here. So if you want us to read your Streamlabs live, please send us a couple bucks, and we'll go through them in just a moment here when Billy gets back. Also, we have a sponsor, ExpressVPN. I don't know if you guys... How many of you out there use VPNs? Some people use it to encrypt their browsing. Some people do it to give them to appear as if their location is different, and then that way they're eligible for different things, like the British version of Netflix or the Canadian version of Netflix. I was trying to watch something that wasn't available in my local area, and I used ExpressVPN because they just granted me a trial membership on it to kind of try the product out, and I was able to fool the website that I was trying to watch this sporting event on that thought I was in a different state, so I was able to watch it. With my local IP address, it wouldn't have allowed that to happen, so... It's good for that kind of stuff, and if you sign up using our link and you want to just sign up for a year, they'll give you 3 extra months on top of that year, and we get a percentage of that, and that would be great for us and for you guys. Also, sign up now. Either go to DP On Demand and sign up before the 15th, or become a $25 patron, because on the 15th I'm going to launch a multiple new things onto the DP On Demand service. All of the people that are patrons $25 and above are going to get a one-time key that you can use from now until the end of the month to watch all the content, and then I'll be doing that every month after that. So if you want to check it out, please do so. And I'm going to upload a classic lost DP private show that was only seen by the people who viewed it live at the time. That's going to get put up there. I'm going to upload an episode of the Asscast. There's going to be new content too. There's going to be a review of one of Egghead's dad's really bad movies with myself, Jeff Holiday, and Adam from Your Movie Sucks. That's going to go up there too. And there's a bunch of other stuff coming up. Hours and hours and hours of content coming up for our patrons and subscribers over on DP On Demand. You gotta check that out. It helps keep the show going too, also. And we appreciate all the support. Now, Egghead's dad's movies, through one of YouTube's most well-known movie critics, so you got to think, Adam is known for doing these awesome reviews of terrible movies, so his take on it is going to be very interesting. You know, he does all the Neil Breen stuff. He does these kind of, ridiculous vanity project style movies that have a decent budget. I think Egghead's dad's movies had like a 6-figure budget. So think about that. Someone says, you don't use the Brave browser no mo? No, I still use the Brave browser, and the links are in the description. And people use it and send us their bats I have it on my phone too. I use it to listen to YouTube videos without having to pay YouTube for their premium service, because you can lock your screen with Brave browser and it'll block ads and all that stuff, and you can just use that and it'll accumulate bats while you're using it so that you can send those to creators you like. And bats, when I first started promoting the browser and the basic attention token cryptocurrency, bats were only worth 6-7 cents each, and now they're consistently above 60 cents. Sometimes they go up over $1 too. It bypassed the old adpocalypse bullshit. So now you can monetize a channel without having to worry about YouTube demonetizing you. So, yeah. Who here is excited about the new Metroid game? I don't know how many of the people watching are even into games at all, but they just released the new 2D Metroid game for the new Nintendo Switch. So I think I'll be playing that very soon. I'm a big Metroid fan, and I like Metroidvania games in general. But I want to... the last 2D Metroid game I think that they made was Super Metroid in the mid-90s. So this is pretty huge. I can't wait for it. It just came out for the Switch.
I turned on my Switch for like the first time in 6 months.
You did an update.
Last week, yeah, I did updates. I went to my island in Animal Crossing. All my friends were there, like, where have you been, Billy? And I turned it off. I was like, fuck this. I can't deal with this.
Metroid better.
You think Metroid's better than Animal Crossing? When you log into Metroid, are they like, where have you been, Ben?
Oh, Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance. Okay. Like handhelds, I don't have too much experience, but I think it was very smart that Nintendo decided finally their new console was also going to be a handheld. That was brilliant on their part. And they threw in a little bit of the like motion sensor that the Wii had. It's kind of an accumulation of their best consoles all in one.
Were you able to play the Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo DS?
I never had a DS.
Because I had a DS. I remember playing a game. I think it was Metroid Fusion. I think that's what I was playing on the DS, because I'm pretty sure I had a Metroid game on. I know I had a Metroid game on the DS, and I feel like it was Game Boy Advance.
There's a lot of positive. There's a lot of people saying in the chat right now, Metroid Dread is badass. I was watching the previews of it, and I saw that it just came out either yesterday or today. So I'll probably download it and play it a little bit, check it out. Let's read the Streamlabs, and then we'll move on to something else.
Let's read the Streamlabs. They're loading, so it's taking its sweet time.
Sweet. Yeah, on Tuesday, guys, anyone who's a $25 patron or above is going to get into the booking committee after the show on Tuesday, and we're going to book the next Actual Mania and talk to our most valued supporters about, what we're going to do this month for special content for you guys. So,
Cinephiliacs, the first time catching you guys live in a while. Fuck working 2 jobs, fuck probation 2. Luckily, I'm in quarantine, so both jobs and probation can eat my COVID-ridden anus. Thank you for the money. Rat Lord Alcaraz, give us that big love. Thank you again. 777, the neighbor of the beast, says, let's have a nice clean show tonight. No spiking any drinks. Okay. I'll try not to. I can't promise anything, though. I've already had 2
I'm drinking water.
Ooh. Mr. Captain Snack says, the fuck is up with people these days? They openly support the content creators they love, as I'm doing right now, then complain that those same people have their money? Ridiculous.
Exactly.
They don't realize that entertainment ain't easy. Why aren't they doing it?
It's entertainment.
Yeah. People complaining about how much money people are making is interesting because I think a lot of people give thinking that they're helping their content creator continue to go and not making them like uber rich. I promise every dollar you send to Drunken Peasants is keeping us not in poverty. We're not rich.
Hassan Piker isn't going to change the world with his content. So
we will though.
You supporting him isn't a principled thing. You're just supporting someone you feel that entertains you.
Yeah. Lord of Nurgle gave a big love and put a lie there as well. We got some new patrons. Thank you guys again. I think that's everything, at least on my list.
All right.
Boom, boom.
Here we go.
Clee disappear. Clee disappear. Clee disappear. Clee disappear.
Clee disappear. Boom, boom, boom. Socialist advocacy is important, though. Hassan and Vosh do a great job getting more people aware and involved in leftist advocacy.
But do they? I don't know much about Vosh and like how much money he makes and stuff. But I mean, shouldn't Hassan Piker kind of practice what he preaches too? Though shouldn't he? I mean, if this is all genuine and not just a guy who is making entertainment content and the people who find him entertaining making him a wealthy man, like, shouldn't he walk the walk if this is more than just entertainment?
How do you walk the walk? Like, I think that you can bring awareness through entertainment. That's a fair defense of Hassan's stance. But also, like, you become an idol and you make all this money and you get all this clout and cash for taking a stance against something. He's not a politician, right? He's not, like, Vosh isn't a politician.
Right. They're entertainers on the internet.
Yeah, and their particular brand of entertainment.
They're political commentators.
Yeah. So, like, they can comment. They could say we need to be more just and fair and spread the wealth out. And you could say all that knowing full well the system is not going to change because they're doing very well right now. The elites are the most elite to the point where you can make millionaires out of people saying they're wrong, and there will be no change ever. We can talk about it all we want. That's part of the process. Make millionaires out of people that tell you that we should all have sweet monies, and then all the people that give them their sweet monies will continue to be poor. It's new religion, right? It's like these are our new super churches.
You lost me.
Oh, I don't know. This is what I was thinking in my head.
Okay, here's a little bit of content. We'll lighten the mood a little bit. King Cobes, he's got some merchandise coming out.
Nice. Josh is preparing to list the $660 plus praying mantis staff on Etsy. A Cobra Craft handmade wands customer who hadn't received his or her $250 wand bundle in July of 2021 filed a refund request with Etsy. Josh neglected to read the notice. Etsy then made the decision to suspend his profile until Josh issued a full refund to the customer. Etsy issued a full refund to the customer around late September. Okay.
I like the bubbly background music. Hits from the bone. That hat.
What's up, YouTube? We're live on the YouTube channel.
He beat the shit out of that hat when he had his little temper tantrum a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Having a bit of a rough night. Went and had dinner with my family at Olive Garden. It was a very pleasant experience.
Well, how's that a rough night then?
Olive Garden was delicious.
I bet you didn't pay.
And then I go to check my my Etsy store. My Etsy is still available. It's been temporarily suspended because I have a issue with a customer, and I'd like to address that on my YouTube channels.
Why?
Let's see here. So
I think the issue was with you not sending them what they paid for.
My account has temporarily been suspended because of a customer dispute.
This is Wandgate right here.
This was on an order placed on July 27th. It was a pair of wands. And I don't know how it happened, man, because, you know what I'm saying? They could have gotten lost in the mail. You know, it happens. So I sent them a message. I said,
or they just didn't get sent, right?
Yes. I'm sorry you didn't receive your order. There must have been a mistake in the address. Please send me your address and I will resend your order with a tracking number. Now, previously, Etsy didn't require a tracking number, but now, with every order, Etsy requires a tracking number.
Yeah, that way, because if you had a tracking number and you wanted to dispute their dispute, you could be like, look, here's the tracking number, and it shows it was delivered. But since you didn't do that, it's your word against theirs, and they're going to side with them normally.
So there you go.
There you go.
But the refund is a bit out of my price range. The
refund is out of the price range.
Customer is asking for a refund of $251.46. So if the customer sends me a proper address, when I get some more money, I will remake those wands and I will send them out. Until I get that refund paid off, my account is pretty much temporarily suspended. It is what it is.
As King Cobra, like knowing how many trolls are out there, I would want to get tracking on everything.
Yeah.
Just to combat the trolls.
Yep.
Is. And I do apologize to the customer for not getting back in time. Nah, I get a lot of hate mail on my Etsy store. It's just sad. People creating fake Etsy accounts just to troll and talk smack. It's redundant.
It's redundant.
I don't think it's redundant. I don't think that was the proper usage of the
Ridiculous.
word. Oh, ridiculous. Okay. No, basically the same thing. Redundant. It's ridiculous when someone's redundant.
It's redundant. It's ridiculous. It's meticulous.
Redundant. Redunculous.
I believe you're thinking of redonkulous.
Redonkulous.
The word you're
Part of
looking
running
for.
my own business, I guess. No, it just sucks because I take great pride in Cobra Craft handmade wands, and I love selling my wands on Etsy. I really do. I was going to list the praying mantis staff for $666 because staffs are expensive to ship. And it is what it is.
It is what it is. It's got a dead body, Miss Green. That's a piece of history right there.
$151.
Oh, you mean the praying mantis that he starved to death and then blew toxic smoke and gave it like a shot of alcohol and shit? It's like it's not a human being. It does like that shit is bad for it. And also, if it's in a human's home, there's nothing for it to eat anywhere.
Cope's had a lot of burgers laying around.
Burgers.
$46 of that has to come out into a refund. So be it. I don't know how this happens. To be honest, YouTube.
And he thinks people are gonna buy it for over $600.
I really don't.
Well, he sold this one for
$250, in the mail
right?
If customers do not give me the right address.
Yeah,
I think if he had a $250 wand package that he sold multiples of, I think this one with Miss Green on it being as akin to history, that it's got a living or a once living member of Cope's streams attached to it. That's I think that's worth $666.
Go ahead and buy it then.
I'm not gonna, but I bet you
it's the
somebody
new type
does.
of NFT.
Yeah,
actually,
it's a non-functioning tool bag.
Tool bag.
Turned. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Then I ship them back out as quickly as possible. But if you're going to order a wand, give me the proper address.
I like how he's blaming it on them. It was never confirmed that the address was wrong.
Everyone thinks it's going to break in the mail. Yeah, it probably will break in the mail.
Yeah, no matter how you try to pack that.
My life.
I don't know. I think it's fossilized.
It's not an actual fossil.
I think it's
fossils
fossilized.
take an insanely unfathomable amount of time to develop. and it like spraying it with like lacquer or glue or whatever he did. That's not fossilizing something.
That's most definitely not what's up.
No.
Oh.
Well, a beer would be nice, but I can't afford it right now.
Poor Cobes.
Unless the customer wants to cancel the refund, I'd be more than happy to send them a remake of their wand order. So I do apologize to the customer who sent that message. Like I said, I don't read my messages on Etsy.
You gotta start reading them. Gotta start reading them, Cobes.
So I got a hold of the customer and got to remake those wands that were either lost in the mail.
I love this booger vision camera angle.
She didn't get.
I think I could see his brain.
So there you go.
Oh, a lady bought the
a couple
wand.
bucks to my PayPal.
I wonder how many ladies buy the wands for sexual pleasuring.
Look like you're having a rough run, man. Go get some beers. So I appreciate that. Figured on my way down to the liquor store, I go get some of those wand wood. Yeah. Got 3 wands I got to remake and send out in the mail. Just
3?
Yet.
I like how now he always has his own wand, the one with the green.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
He's the spellcaster.
So you'd be like, kaboom! Expelliarmus!
I wonder if we can get a budget for a King Cobra movie and have him star in it. Get like a $10K film budget. I wonder what the Wyoming Film
Now,
Institute's
if the
like for
customer who
grants.
issued that refund could restrict or relift it so that way it's not on my account, we'll get those wands made ASAP.
What up, YouTube?
He's totally given up.
No, it's on the agenda for today. Just getting some wands carved out. It's gonna take me a couple days to carve them wands out for reshipment.
Cobes is about halfway through his awkward phase. In about 5 more years, he's gonna look like a real hot old goth man.
No, I sent the Etsy customer who's asking for the refund and shit to please remove that refund. And as soon as I do that, and as soon as I list the praying mantis staff and I get money off of that staff, I can ship her wands when I get them made and stuff.
Oh, look, he fixed it. Looks way better
Because
now.
that staff's still drying, dude. Like, it's going to take a couple more days to dry. So while that's drying, I'll have time to make the wands, too. So there
I think
you go.
one scene in the Cobra movie that we're gonna make is gonna be Cobra just riding jet skis for like 20 minutes.
Jet skis.
That'd be good ass content, right?
No.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, King Cobra. I got some brand new merch on the King Cobra's thing, Teespring. That's pretty sick. And I have a shirt celebrating the Green Phantom, which is the Halloween costume I do every year. And when you...
He wears the same Halloween costume every year?
I love how the background is green and it's on a green shirt, but he couldn't cut out the green background, so it's just like the green block on green, green on green. This is good design. This is... How do you make something this bad? The text, I think, is called a Creep Show. They specifically have the font available as Creep Show he's using. This is turds. I love this.
It'd be hilarious if someone started making wands on Etsy and undercut him, and people started buying those instead of his.
Someone should make Liquid Cobes wands.
Yes. And they'd be like better and cheaper.
Buy one of those t-shirts, you're eligible to win a free wand and a personal shout out on a video. So there you go. Now, the more merchandise you buy, the better chances you have of getting a free wand.
So remember Only Use Me Blade?
Oh, yes.
If he was still doing IRL, I think the God wand would be to cut off his toe and have Cobes make a wand out of it.
Oh, God. Dude, that would smell eventually.
Yeah.
It'll be like a little Harry Potter style, you know. And you'll be able to choose the colors. So there you go. And like my Teespring is now loaded with fresh new merch.
So now he's going to talk about the merch on his Teespring. His cool t-shirts like the one you just saw.
I got a Fuck the Taliban t-shirt. It looks just like the Fuck ISIS t-shirt.
So he's just like grabbing Google images and putting, like, he just found that eagle artwork.
I like it.
I even made an
Look at this.
Radical feminists, feminazis radical feminazis suck my cock.
Yeah.
Radical feminism. I wonder if he designed that radical
He did
feminism
not.
logo.
He did not.
You think he just?
No, I know because he talks about it later.
My feminazi shirt. You know these women who hate men. It literally says, and I quote, "Feminazis
Is it the impact font he's
suck
using in the
my
background?
cock." And it's got the radical extremist feminist symbol on the front, and then on the back it says, "Gender equality, fuck sexism, stop the man hate." I made an incel suck t-shirt too, but that's
nice.
not the point.
Stop simp shaming.
Stop simp shaping.
I like how he capitalized stop and simp, but then shaming is not capitalized.
Stop shrimp shaving.
That looks pretty fucking sick too, if I do say so myself. Hold up, let me pull it up. It's got a badass looking pentagram goat thing on the front, and then on the back it
Do you
says,
think he designed that pentagram goat thing?
No.
"Fuck sexism, stop the hate on women."
No, it says stop the hate of woman. Fuck sexism, stop the hate of woman.
Yes.
Gender equality.
Nice. Agenda equality.
Stop the hate of woman.
Cobus is highly regarded.
Gender equality.
He's a highly regarded shirt maker.
There you go. I made one for both sides.
My guy.
Yeah.
He's making.
You know, that laugh, he thinks this is like the smartest thing ever, and he's, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just going to play both sides, and
He's
I'll sell
raking
all
in
kinds
the
of
dough.
shirts.
He's raking in the dough.
Yep.
Controversy creates
So
cash.
all my
Well, wait, there's a twist, actually, though.
Etsy is down, and I'm currently in the process of getting that back up. I'd like to extend an offer if you buy all my merchandise, or at least a good chunk of it. You know what I'm saying? The more merchandise you buy, the more eligible you are for a free wand with your own choice of colors.
Ooh.
That's what's up. And
That's
you'll get a
most
shout out
definitely
on the
what's
video. Sweet.
He's used to doing this.
Yeah. Like, I'll show Cobra. I want to steal his video while he's live right now because I'm too much of a pussy to start my own shit.
Whoa.
Oh, he's doing this.
Seriously, you're promoting my content, dude. Is that supposed to piss me off or get me?
It does clearly piss you off, though. That's the funny thing. You talking about it and acting like it doesn't piss you off shows that you are pissed off about it.
Upset?
You are
Not
upset
really.
about it.
Thanks for the support, man. You're spreading the good word of the Cobra. I appreciate it.
Cobra 19.
No one falls for this, though.
Yes,
I
and I
do.
got a brand new mug
Ooh.
on Teespring. It's called the Troll Tears mug.
He
It's
must
quite
have designed
hilarious.
that logo. He
Yes,
must
'cause
have
when you
designed that
picture
logo.
it, your trolls getting their asses kicked, and then
If you notice, there's always like a rectangular background on all of his designs because he doesn't know how to like snip out the background on things.
crying like little bitches into a fucking coffee mug. Says the guy who cried on 9/11. Yeah, that's different, cocksucker. That's different.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's not letting me log into my Teespring. Oh, yeah, I pissed
Uh-oh.
off a lot of people. And that's how you do it, YouTube. Yes. It's not letting me plug the link, and quite frankly, I don't care. They're trying everything they can to piss me off, and it's not working. Fucking hilarious shit, YouTube. I tell you what. Yes. Good thing I have the link on my Facebook. Page not found. Oh, well. Golly gee willikers. That's all right. I'll check it later. You know where to check. King Cobra's Fang, baby.
He'll check
That's
it
what's
later.
up.
It'll be back
If
later.
you're fucking with my Etsy and fucking with my Teespring because you don't want to see me make money, you're a jealous fucking retard. And you know how I know this?
Whoa,
Because
whoa,
while your
whoa.
ass is sitting in a corporate job getting fucked off the ass by your boss. Oh, golly gee willikers.
He keeps saying golly gee willikers.
Yeah, he doesn't want to cuss while he's saying raped in the ass and retard.
Cobra getting to do what he loves for a living. It's hilarious. Yes. I got fans who will report you for stealing my content. Holy crap, they are pissed at me today. I love it. I love how much control I have over my trolls.
I love how much control I have over my trolls.
It's unbelievable, like the irony of that statement.
That's like the backwards Dom that's just getting abused in prison by all these other inmates. Like,
Right.
aha, I've got you this time. Right in my clutches. Come in my ass.
You get mad, which makes them think, oh, okay, I'll show him. I'll show him. I'll show him.
He never genuinely laughs or cries. It's all
He's incapable.
It's all like self-serving and performative.
Have you seen
to show what a good guy he is?
Have you seen Space Odyssey? 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes.
He's got the temperament of Hal, the ship's
robot.
Yeah, the robot.
Should the U.S. deport immigrants living here?
What's the deal with my Teespring here, man? This is weird. It's not letting me log into it.
Cobes, I gotta tell you,
I can't see any of my merchandise.
it got taken down, man.
That's
You
I
know,
like it how
if-
he has not realized that.
I gotta
yet.
tell you, Cobes.
Trolls got my fucking Teespring like shut down and shit. I'll just recreate it. I'm not gonna sit here and get mad about it or fuck.
He's already mad about it.
Any of that. It just shows you how fucking desperate and sad they are. It really does. Did I hit the wrong button? Son of a bitch. Your Teespring campaign has been disabled. It says your Feminazi Suck shirt at teespring.com has been terminated due to the concerns that it appears your campaign may be using content owned by a third party. Yeah, I should not have put that extremist feminazi symbol on the front of it. That kind of fucked me on that.
Yeah, I put up a Teespring design a long time ago that was like a parody of, you know, the Morton Salt can, the girl in the raincoat with the umbrella, and we had a version of that where it was Paul with the salt like raining down on him.
Yeah.
And Teespring took that down for a little while until we explained it was a parody and not the original. Because you can do a parody, you just can't steal the original word.
Right. So the trolls didn't really do anything to the Teespring. It's just I pulled the image from Google. I didn't think there'd be any problems with it, but there you go. Great.
Yeah, you
So, I
got
mean,
to
I have
design your
access-
own shit. You have to design something. It has to, like, at least use Photoshop. Don't just right click and save as on Google Images and use them. You have to make it your own in some way.
To my Teespring store, I kind of just screwed myself on the merchandise.
Hands off the
Great.
merchandise.
Well, am I going to be able to view my store, or has it been like if you only disabled one thing, then there's no reason why I should fucking. Hold on a second.
Yeah, so ultimately, in the end, maybe everyone just starts treating each other the same, and everyone stays away.
Okay, so yeah, maybe the trolls might have got my whole Teespring store deleted. Honestly, I'm not upset about it. The fact that they tried that hard to fuck with somebody.
See, people who aren't upset don't keep saying they're not upset. They just don't mention it.
I don't know, Ben. That most definitely wasn't upset.
Oh, okay. That was most definitely not what's up.
That most definitely wasn't upset.
Shows I rule their fucking lives, and it's not that fucking hard for me to start up a new store. It really isn't. I don't think they got the whole store banned. I think just
It
that
sounds like the whole, like your whole account.
One-
is
You
Can't
terminated.
get to the fucking page. It's
Saw
gone.
the stream cut off. Maintenance, which is all right.
He definitely doesn't understand how any of this works. Somebody needs to come in that's a businessman and do all the business for Cobes, give him 30%, which will be probably more than he's making now because a businessman's running his stuff, crack the whip on him make those wands, pump his albums out, get moderately not even rich, just gonna it'd have to be a labor of love. The person managing Cobes probably make a few $1,000s. Cobes make like $1,000 and feel like a king. That's all we need. Let's
His
monetize
manager will
Cobes.
skim more off the top.
Monetize, not more. He's making 70% because he's doing actual footwork.
Said Teespring
Cobes
and
makes more, manager makes more.
I mean, I'll
It's
just see if I can't get
it's
my
monetized autism. It's perfect.
reinstated.
Monetism.
If they won't let me
Monetism.
do it, then I'll create a new Teespring. It's not that big of a deal.
So I'm going to submit an intellectual property claim to Teespring and see if I can't get my store reinstated. If that doesn't work, then I'll just fucking create a new store, dude. It's not that big of a deal. The trolls did not get my Teespring taken down. Apparently, when I created a shirt that says "Feminazis suck," the image I used was copyrighted, and Teespring's not having that.
What? You telling me that you didn't make that logo, Cobes? I thought that logo was handmade by you.
I love how he blames the trolls automatically for anything that goes wrong.
Trolls, these copyright trolls.
It's like the endless boogeyman he can always point the finger at anytime anything goes wrong.
So I guess it is what it is. I'll work on that later. You are the biggest fucking loser on the planet. Using a photo of me crying on my 9/11 stream shows you're a miserable bastard. To be fair,
you put it on the internet.
The trolls try as hard as they can to fuck with my life, and then they refuse to take blame for it, and then tell me I'm the one that doesn't take responsibility. Kiss my ass. Kiss my ass.
Well, the trolls don't have to take blame for what they do. They do victory laps for what they do. For what they're doing what they're doing effectively. It's trolling you. And that's why you have to take it into your own hands and blame yourself, because then you become the controller of your future. You say, I'm not going to let these trolls come in and stir me up. That's where the problem lies, King Cobes.
No, it's like my trolls will sit there and fuck with everything I do, scare off every chick that I like, fuck with
Oh, yeah, they do it. They scare them off.
every job that I have. Just so they can turn around and say, you need to get laid, you need to get a job. It's like, well, you need to get a life.
They do get him fired from his jobs, right?
Yeah, and that's messed up. I don't think that's cool.
More about a spilt drink than the over 2,000 people that died on 9/11. You're not a real American. You're a Nazi pig. Fuck you. Get a life. This is what they do with their life. This is what my trolls do with their fucking life. They spend all day trying to harass King Cobra JFS, and it's sad, dude. It's fucking sad.
Cry about it. Oh, damn.
Run to the end of your leash and bark for your Dark Lord and Savior, King Cobra JFS.
Yes. Tell them, Cobes.
Yeah. I'm working on getting it back up. Yeah, if Teespring doesn't let me reinstate my old account, I'll just create a fucking new one and be more careful of the copyrighted images.
Let's just say,
I love the air quotes.
If he can get his account back, sell some ones, sell some shirts, he can call up Domino's, and that's most definitely what's for dinner.
First, I thought it was the fucking trolls who did it, but then, come to find out, yeah, that logo you use for your anti-feminazi t-shirt is ridiculous, dude. How's being able to not make any money now, boy? No Teespring, no selling sticks all day. And that's the fucking point of it, dude, is like, you fuck with me so I can't get a job here in town, so I try to make my own goddamn money, you fuck with me there, too. And it's just
so let's get Cobes a food truck, okay? And he can sell foods on sticks, like we were talking about earlier, except each stick is a wand, okay? His food truck is here, have a corn dog, and it's on a wand. How smart is that?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Food hack wands on wheels, baby.
Wand hack. Mode on pisses off my trolls. Watch this. You watching this? You too. Watch this.
When every dead has a dead bug in it. That's probably exactly how it would work.
Cobra,
with
put the
Cobes
phone on
cooking.
airplane mode. Oh my god, I fucking hate Cobra so much. All I gotta do to piss off my trolls is put the YouTube on slow mode and put the phone on airplane mode. Watch them fucking squirm. It doesn't take much to piss these assholes off, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
Ben,
It doesn't make.
Will you move to Wyoming so we can do Drunken Peasants from Wyoming? So we
No.
can get King Cobes' food truck running?
No.
Wands on wheels?
No.
Make any fucking sense. If Teespring had a problem with one shirt, why shut down my whole fucking store? Just take the one shirt
Because they have
off.
the edible crickets, right? We can put an edible cricket on the end of one of the corn dog ones.
All crickets are edible.
Yeah, but we'll have one like shellacked. It'll be fossilized on the end of the corn dog wand.
I hate your ideas so much.
This is so smart.
It's not.
And we live stream the whole thing every day and pay him just to show up.
Dude. So thank you to the fans for donating. I'm not going to give you a personal shout out unless you ask for it, just because my trolls get super pissed off whenever fans give me money. And I bet they're just rolling in their own troll graves, laughing themselves sick. Holy crap, Cobra lost his Teespring and his Etsy store. I'm going to get those things back eventually. It may take a couple days of just nailing down and getting her done, but it'll happen. My bank account was negative, but I got that out of the negative.
I've never. I don't know any other person, especially someone with like no responsibilities like Cobes, to always have their bank account in the negative. Like maybe it's like, you know, parents who, you know, have trouble affording the needs for their family, but a dude that just like sits around and drinks all day, like I don't know. I don't know anyone.
It makes sense.
Even when
It's
I was
Cobes.
making the least amount of money I was making in my entire life, I was still like, I would make sure my account didn't go in the negative.
Yeah, because you had the wherewithal to like manage money. Cobes doesn't. Cobes gets down to the near the end of his account and he thinks, well, I'll just magically sell a wand or get donos. He just thinks money will come to him, and half the time it does. The other half the time he's struggled. And he thinks, well, this is messed up. I'll just go do something crazy and get more monies.
Some liquor, but I'm good on that. I want to take that PayPal money. I want to transfer that to my bank so that way my bank account's not in the negative. It won't be enough to like pay off.
I think he's kind of like Chris Chan, where like they could be monetizing their platform way better, but they just don't do it.
They can't like mentally.
They could
do that,
have
right?
though. Yeah, if they'd have to hand the reins over to someone else and just be present.
Yeah.
That's what would have to happen.
That's when Christine started getting all that money because Noel came in and stepped up to bat.
Yep.
I want to be Cobe's manager. I want to buy this food truck, the Cricket Lick It food truck, and have him sell Mrs. Green corn
Be
dogs.
one last thing in the negative. You know,
That's
what
most
I'm
definitely
saying?
what's up.
And yeah,
I know what happened to like some feminazi saw my the feminazi shirt I made ripping on extremist feminists who hate men, and they got all offended. Wow! And so they flagged it. And Teespring saw it, and they were just like,
I don't think it was because they were offended by the shirt. They just want to mess with you, and they got, you know, hours of you talking about it. So mission accomplished on their point, on their side.
So fucking Teespring doesn't reinstate my account and just remove the feminazi shirt that I made, and I'll go through some other website to make my merchandise. I don't give a shit. So let me just explain a little something to you right now. The Cobra I have on my shirts, the black and green one, I paid for that shit. So I paid like $12 for the image. And then when I downloaded it, I went into GIMP and I made it black and green.
Ooh.
So technically speaking, if it's royalty free and you've already paid for the image,
Well, I don't think that's the one you got in trouble for, right?
you know what I'm saying, you two?
Do we know what you're saying? We're saying that you fucked up somehow, and you're using the one point where you may not have fucked up. But even the way he's explaining it, he was like, I paid $12.
But it's royalty free.
And then he says royalty free. I think he stole it from the site. The high res he had, his coloring job did not look like it was from a high res color photograph, but that could just be Cobes doing his magic. It's interesting.
I'm hanging in there, man. My Teespring may not come back, to be brutally honest.
He got a lifetime ban, I think. It's
He's
like
on dumpster fire now?
I don't even think he could make a new account.
So I did a King Cobra JFS T-shirt on Bonfire.
Hey,
I only
that's
have
most
one up right now.
definitely what's
See?
up.
You see how there's like a square, a black rectangular background?
Yeah.
See, when you make a good shirt, the image has to have a transparent background so that it doesn't have that box there.
Not just because, dude, I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning last night designing merch for my Teespring. That's how dedicated I was to this.
Good
Just to have
job,
some
Cobes. I'm proud of
fucking
you.
bullshit happen. So just because my Teespring got shut down doesn't mean I want to stop selling shirts. I'll find other ways to do it.
Everybody who's saying
No, I
Jesus
didn't.
Cobes, it takes fucking 5 seconds to take the background out. You don't understand the difference between 5 seconds and 5 days if you just don't get it. Cobes just doesn't get it. Of course it takes 5 seconds for somebody who gets it. Cobes missing that step. It's never going to get there until he gets it. And the chances of him getting it are slim. Because we've been watching Cobes for years now.
Yeah, it's been years.
And very rarely has he ever gotten it on any level. Right?
Right.
And just find this out. LOL, I've always fucking known. You're not going to keep track of like little details like that. That's just not something you're going to store in your brain like off the front, you know? Well, here's the thing, if it's slick, the dude who created that Cobra has never had a problem with me using it for my shirts.
Oh.
Otherwise, I would have gotten an email by now. It's the truth.
That's the truth.
No, I don't have any booze. Beer sounds nice, but meh. There are more important things like getting my Etsy out of the negative so I can start selling wands again. No, I've had this Cobra design on my Teespring for ages, and they've never said anything about it. So it's like, okay, considering that the original photo was black and white, and this one actually has a little bit of color to it, it's slightly different.
It's a weird.
And that's bullshit because people
machine.
fucking steal my crap all the fucking time, and no one cares. Nobody fucking cares. People are stealing my likeness for T-shirts all the goddamn time, and nobody gives a fuck, dude. That's just the sad reality of it.
That is unfair.
I'm gonna try creating
Terribly unfair.
a different Teespring with one of my other emails. So
I wanted to see if a meltdown was coming.
Somebody should do the art for the Henri Osborne t-shirt he's wearing, but have it say King Cobra and just redo the art to make it look like a dope King Cobra shirt in that style. That would be an awesome shirt.
Yeah. I mean, he needs an expert designer.
If anybody here wants to design a shirt for King Cobes, we'll spam it to Cobes and try and get him to put it in his store. That'd be so. I might make Cobes a shirt tonight.
Tomorrow, our guests are gonna be the guys from the Goddamn Podcast. So Coctopus Prime and Dark Matter are coming back again.
Yeah,
they're great guests. You guys should come. Don't forget it. 6 p.m. Pacific time. And when we have them on, we usually cover almost like a different type of content. Kind of because they're used to the format because they do their own show, very similar to ours.
If you guys do King Cobra shirt designs, I'll do my best to get them in his hands and in his shop. Because I think I might go home and do a cool King Cobra shirt design. Make his thug mansion, his goth mansion. It'd be so cool.
Okay.
That'd be so sweet. Based and red-pilled.
Whew. So, we are almost out of time. Did we get any new Streamlabs since the last time you read? No?
No.
Okay.
Not one at all. And I was waiting patiently. I was telling myself, the next donor that comes in, I'll cry.
Like King Cobra on 9/11?
Yeah, especially if it was a $9.11 donation.
Uh-huh.
I'd cry, but I'm going to hold the tears back.
Oh, man. It's been a while. I used to do 9/11 mode.
Mm-hmm.
Where I do a shot every 9/11.
Yeah.
That was donated. That got pretty insane. Yeah, DP is tomorrow. Our next episode is tomorrow. Same time we started today, 6 p.m. Pacific. So you should remember.
Yes.
Remember, come see us. And if you ever have any questions as to when we're streaming, there's a link in the description. There's a Google Calendar. And then there's also an iCal for those of you who use Apple devices.
And for those of you that design King Cobra T-shirts, we're gonna spam them to Cobes and get them in his new shop.
You simp so hard for Cobes. It's kind of weird. Like I've been talking about other stuff, and you keep bringing it back to King Cobra.
You keep playing King Cobra videos.
With the video's over, we're not watching it anymore. We've been done with the Cobra thing.
You
for
keep
several
bringing
minutes.
Cobes to this podcast. I'm just making a fun fan interaction right now to get Cobes some quality merchandise.
You have come up with countless crackpot ideas revolving around King Cobra, and none of them have even started to begin to even happen
yet. And I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that when they do, something bad will happen. Remember when Christine Weston Chandler was coming, and we were gonna
that had already been
we were
going
gonna
on.
dimensional merge.
Okay.
And then what happened?
Okay.
What happened? Christine turned out to be a motherfucker. I'm worried when I finally jump the gun on this Cobes food truck, this wand-based food truck with cricket aperitif dessert, Miss Green aperitif dessert. Maybe something crazy will happen. I'm a little scared. I'm just trying to help Cobes out. I think that's a sweet boy thing to do.
Okay.
Bring Cobes a little cheer and holiday love for the happy Halloween holiday.
Okay.
Nice new shirts. I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's a bad thing to do.
You're just gonna keep talking.
It's usually what I do on this show. Yeah.
No, about the Cobes thing. Like,
of course,
I notice like when you're making a point, you will just like stretch it out forever.
Yeah, we do 2.5, 3 hours every night on here. I try and stretch out nothing because otherwise we just sit here and smoke weed and get drunk and do nothing. Right? Got to stretch stuff out. That's the point of the show. I thought.
No.
Oh, it's not. We just sit here.
Yes,
I can do that.
Let's do it. Oh man, yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Be here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. Goddamn podcast guys, they're wonderful, good guys.
It'll be a fun one.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'm trying to stall because I'm trying to switch the fucking scene. I should have planned ahead better for that.
Everybody have a good night.
Everybody, yeah, have a good night. And fuck, man. You know what?
It'd be really nice for me to stretch some talking out right now, huh?
Just as long as it's not about how you're gonna help Cobes.
Why do you hate Cobes? He's a sweet boy.
It's you just disproportionately. Well, first of all, you have way too much confidence in his abilities.
No, my abilities.
Uh-huh.
When I help him, it'll be like gold, solid gold.
So why have you been withholding your help for so long?
I've been busy.
Okay.
It's been hard. With COVID and everything.
Okay.
It's been really hard.
All right. Okay, yeah, now we are leaving. Good night.
Good night, everybody!
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your... Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.